I mean, technical difficulties galore, but regardless, we're back, we're better, and we're stronger than ever. Luckily, it was a little bit of a tech pause before the game even started, so now we can just continue to see what's going on. No interruption of pace, and we're straight back into the ban phase.
As we saw these before, Blackbeard, BLITZ being banned out, Kaid and Fenrir being banned out. Obviously, not surprising to see both shields because they were currently in a massive shield meta. And Kaid and Fenrir being banned out. Kaid just allows you to get those hatches just a little bit easier. Don't have to be forced into bringing those EMPs. Just means basement's a little less of a fortress to get over with, and maybe forces the defender side into more of that roam just to waste a little bit more time because they don't have to rely on those electricity to make sure the time is already wasted for them. Looking at the lineup, though, I do like the Azami. It allows you to play in those AK positions just a little bit more comfortably, and again, it puts another roadblock in the way for the attackers. And then, of course, the mirror. Default on the basement, you put one maybe in blue, and then the other one just facing onto that triple wall. I'm just curious, what kind of mirror on the triple will it be? Will it be the one closest to the right, or will it be the one on the middle? And they're also going to go for this roam, which I said they probably would have to do just to waste a little bit more time. It's probably going to be that mute, and maybe the Azami looking at this moment, just so then they can throw their keepers and make sure they can get out safely.
Very extensive play indeed. I mean, you always have to be mindful of the amount of space you're trying to cover here, because if you try to cast such a large net over the map, you're going to end up with little to no space being held. You need to have the utility, you need to have the right operators being brought in. It looks like Acad Co. is looking to bring the right attacker ability and everything that is needed to have a successful defensive. I mean, they have the Azami, they have the castle, they even have that Goyo to deny any swift plays. And for Core, it looks like they're going to be going back to basics, top down, and start clearing to prevent any sneaky plays from Acad Co.
It's a smart way, yeah, and I love them bringing the Monty as well from the side of Core. Just allows them to roam players safely, and using him as basically a portable drone, and then if he needs to, he can unshield, get in the face, maybe push them down a little bit, and obviously use his teammates to also frag off, and they've already gotten full con control, and that's a keeper wasted. Yes, they have a lot of them, and there's another one there on the window, but there's just so many being wasted on this roam, which means there's going to be very little to use when actually going back down to site when they want to go back down to bunker a little bit. And also, the roam is fully already come off. The only people left right now is going to be Deity on the mute, looking to maybe get a C4 pick or just again slow him down a little bit when the Monty pushes down the stairs. But again, he's going to be slowly and quickly falling off just with his teammate, just then he doesn't really become an isolated pick for the side of Carnico. And they do have a ping on him, so they know he's there. And again, look, here comes the Monty, pushing him down and making sure he takes all the space he needs. But I do love the fact that Core are taking this slow, making sure they're able to cross all their T's and dots their I's, so they know that every little bit of space is clear. Right now, they have got the map there under their control.
As it stands, just under 90 seconds left on the clock here. They are really doing the fundamentals to set themselves up for a successful attack, but now they're going to have to be mindful of the clock. They've pushed every defender back into the site, which is beautiful, but now you just have to be mindful of that utility head-on. There can be a C4 that can fly over the top part of this triple wall, but so far, it hasn't been shot out. The Volcan canisters will prove to be a problem at some stages during the round. You have to make sure you can pop them at this stage, because if you find yourselves below 30 seconds and these Vulcans still intact, I mean, you're just going to have a 20-second fuse time with these flames where you can't find any leeway through it. I mean, these verticality operators are going to need to get very aggressive right here and right now before it becomes too late. We speak about 10 man counts just below a minute left, and how the attackers are going to start to feel pressured to try to get in the site, isolate the 1v1s, and try to win each and every gunfight. To make and speak that into advantage, you'll have Spiff to find Deity, but instantly Vic fans will find a response and refrag Spiff right back out. I mean, now they're going to have to be very, very aware of their surroundings, but Foco deletes one man with the P9, downs Vic fans, and now Carnage taking damage but doesn't go out. It'll be Foresight and Karn to take care of Franklin and Rival, as now Vic will still be down, meaning we're in a 2v3 situation unless somebody goes for a very risky revive. And now, having that one man reside in the depths of... What are you doing? Hello? Foresight, are you alive? As Focal has been accessed site, I mean, it's an easy plan for him. Bray goes out swinging here. He's in a 1v1 situation, and this Monty is going to go down as it's an easy defuse off the double kill from Bray. And you really have to ask yourself, why was it that close? Foresight, you gotta be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, Foresight just a little bit unaware. He tried to go pro, maybe thinking the angle just couldn't really reach him. But again, it just shows that sometimes you're just a little bit unaware of your angles. But I love the little lurk by the Capitan that just full centered down blue, was able to get a triple kill, I think, in the end on the round, that really allowed his team to just somehow held a grasp on that round despite the little time and the flurry of kills going the way of Khan and co. But yes, I think the problem was QOR. They got the space so quickly, but then they just took so long to actually take the space and then set up their execute on that mid floor. They got the hatches open with, what, 40 seconds left? And like you said, the Goyo canisters, they will really just set a thorn in the needle of the side of QOR Gaming. It just allowed more seconds to just tick, 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 tick down. And then the new boy, Brayito, I said that he'd been impressing me so much, how well he's being able to fit into this team so seamlessly, and he's done it again. 2v1 clutch, and he's showing that yes, he can perform against one of the big boys in T3 currently. And looking at the lineup from Kanago again, you got the mirror again, you got that Goyo again, so that means QOR, you could not take too long to take the other side, because again, you cannot allow those Goyo cannons to be so important when just ticking down your time for second time round out. I do like the adaptation of bringing around that Ash so he can then get rid of those mirror runners. Curious to see how they're able though to take this map control without that Monty by their side.
Will be quite an interesting attack here for QOR Gaming. I mean, they were knocking on the doorstep of sight. You even had Focal open it up with 2 very, very late round kills here. It all calmed down after they found the refrags after refrags, but it became a problem when you're leaving Monty to take his gunfights all by himself. I mean, he was forced to win his 1v1 against Focal, and then from there, my apologies, he was forced to win his gunfight against Foresight, and then from there had to funnel in and try to isolate every other gunfight. From there, you cannot rely on only your shield ops to win each and every gunfight. You need to give yourselves some level of accountability to play as a team and move one by one as a unit to take care of Church or Moto, wherever you're trying to get that plant down. I mean, beautiful pressure and beautiful clutch by Karn and Ko's Bray, but as of now, there's still some things they need to fix, and let's see if they can just wrinkle out or iron out those wrinkles this round or the next.
Yeah, it's very important that they're able to just make sure that the time doesn't become a massive impediment when they're trying to just take these pushes. At the moment, a first opening pick for Inria, that would definitely help them in just speeding up their attack, especially with the fact this the mirror down. That's a C4 down off the board. That means the mirror maybe can't go below when QOR trying to go for that plant in the main site, because that would have been easy just pick from below. But now, they're looking at the go button like, okay, we got that first pick, let's start speeding up. But Smith taking a lot of damage, maybe again, not knowing his angles, just running a little bit too close to breach. But the problem is they still do not have this cash control, and it looks like Focal is the only man trying to pressure anyone out of this position. But it may just be, hey, let's ignore this. But no, Brayito, Deity were a double instead somehow.
Oh my
They've just
God.
lost this advantage they were able to gain for themselves.
I mean, bodies dropping like dominoes for both sides here. Deity going nuclear, gets shut down by Franklin at the last second, and yet again, we find ourselves in a 1v1 situation. Franklin, you have just below a minute left to try to clutch here. You have 1 stun, and you have little HP compared to Vic Bands. 2 players from M80X, 2 console players looking to clutch for their own team here. Karn versus QOR, and the question is, what can Franklin do without the case in hand, as this clock will continue to run down on him. He knows he needs to isolate the one. This Mira not being dissected or taken care of earlier in the round will prove to be a failure of these attackers, and it's going to be a problem for Franklin to have to address by himself here, because if he tries to go for the logistics feed holes, which aren't possible to rotate through, it will still become a large problem. I mean, Franklin, forced to rotate through the site with little to no cover and somehow manages to walk out alive, is easily allowed to go walk out through a Jacuzzi, grab that case again, and try to either get that plant down or isolate the gunfight. You have one area you have to try to plant in, and right now you're going to have to decide what you're going to want to do, but Vic Bands is here and rises to the task, takes care of Franklin, finally delivers that final blow, and there you go, Karn claimed the 2-0 lead.
Honestly, I don't know how Foresight got that double kill, but I do think it was a bit poor from QOR trying to just send it through cash or to send it through site. Like maybe they went for that rush, but they had no control anywhere else on the map, really. I think sending that single person to try and clear cash all by himself, just a little bit of a mistake coming out from QOR Gaming. But it came down to that 1v1, and the main thing that was the issue for Franklin in that 1v1 was that mirror under. You said it perfectly. That was the problem. They were never able to deal with that in the round. Maybe the Ash never got an angle, or maybe they just died way too early when they could have actually tried to get rid of the mirror window. maybe in future bring that Twitch. It's just a lot easier to open up that mirror window and gives you just more avenues to open it up and then give yourself that opportunity. But to be fair, since they got that opening pick, I don't think it ever should really come down to that 1v1. I think maybe Core Gaming, they just didn't really time each other together, didn't go for that 1-2-3 go, and they just gave up two easy picks of Foresight, went too early, and just allowed Khan & Co to just get off with that round start and get the momentum back into their hands, and then win the round out in that 1v1. But if the rounds keep going this close, with 2 1v1s in a row, we're looking at a barn burner right now.
I mean, we mentioned it in the pre-show as well. An 0-2 lead is, yes, very good for Card & Co, but it's not impossible for Core to be able to come back from. They're on their home turf and they have the ability to bring it back, but it's all about the composure they bring to each and every round that will show us this composure. But right now, Card & Co is winning in terms of having their utility and winning their gunfights. And yes, Deity was going nuclear, but he was shut out eventually. And that was a form of resilience from Core. Now they just need to bring this resilience to the next round and the round after that and rely on everybody to win their ones before this becomes a one-sided affair until the half switch.
Deity tried for the bandit trick, nearly was actually caught out on the second one. He at least got the first side, but the wall is going to be opened up. But problem is, it took every single ace charge to open it up. Luckily for them, Franklin still has one exo fulminate charge if they want to go and open up maybe the con single or even the cash single. But the next question is how they're going to be clearing out rafters. Their guess is going to be using these Capital Firebolts, but they're going to have to also burn these Wamai discs. And the question is, what do they have to burn? 2 flashes, 2 smokes, and another 2 flashes. So they have a decent amount of utility to burn it, but where are these players to really get into position? Also curious, what is this Aurora's job going to be? How are they going to use this Aurora effectively to maybe help themselves get the plant down? My question is, it's going to be going onto that top red door. But the problem is, Aurora could be getting in a fight early as Franklin gets that opening pick.
Bray lurking down into Lounge. I don't think he knows there's a man sitting close right, and that drone would have been the confirmed demise of him, but he will just run up and seek refuge within this site. CC, a difficult site to hold against these attackers, as now even losing Deity is going to make it even more challenging. Just a minute left on the clock here, and these guys are looking for a response, looking for a kill to build up their momentum, but they are still not able to do so. Core coming to knock on the door of this defensive from Card & Co, and they're doing a good job of it so far. They're pushing every single player out of their corners, and they are trying to make matters worse here for Card & Co, and they're doing so successfully, but somehow Core manages to walk out of it, manages to even it out here. A trade out as Rival and Spiffle win their gunfights. Carno go down, meaning we're in a 3v1 situation, and it will be Rival to finish it out here. I mean, they looked like they were going to give up the 2-man lead, but somehow, some way, the funnel pressure up red managed to solve that problem, and it will be Core with a response.
I think it came down to the fact, obviously, they were able to get those first 2 opening picks, and then it came down to the fact they had just had those bodies to spare. They funneled up red, they funneled up rafters, they used the flash as well to move the player, they used the burns as well to make sure he was at least low as well, and then they just funneled up the 2 players. Yes, he got 1, but then he was low from that first gunfight, low on ammo as well, didn't know where he was pushing up, got the second one as well, didn't get the second one. And again, through red, you saw the first player go down on red, but again, they had the bodies. They funneled through another one going up at the same time. They played that buddy system, which we always love to see. They played close-knit, close together to make sure a refrag was always possible, and they were able to do that because of the fact they had the bodies advantage over Karnako. So they used it smart. Yes, maybe it looked sloppy in the end, but it's the smartest possibility they could do, just because the amount, because they didn't have Wildfire control, they didn't have red control, the only thing they really had was that breach. I would say, don't know how Karnako are dying so early. Maybe it's just the pressure that Core Gaming up is pushing, because also they pushed a little bit of pressure down below. They had complete down below control. They had breach open. Maybe they're also pushing pressure onto that CC window, and then slowly Rafters players, they had to leave as well, just because the pressure was just insurmountable in what was going down. We're going to see a repeat on the basement. The Valk is going to come out this time round out, so they have the information. They can use those double C4s they have as well, and looks like a similar room is going to be going down, especially with that motor hatch being already open.
What a first round for Core to be able to come back from. And I mean, being able to do it on CC, again, it's one of the more difficult sites for the defenders to be able to hold down successfully. But that means it's been 3 rounds since they won that basement site. The parameter will unlock that basement yet again. And what we saw mainly was Core, yes, were absolutely beautiful in the terms of clearing the verticality, getting down towards the site, and being able to isolate all of the utility. But when push came to shove, when it came to getting in that site and trying to get that plant down, It became a problem because they were just too pinched for time. So clearing the roamers and giving yourselves an ample amount of time to work the vert as well is the main idea here for QOR.
Obviously, with the mirror also not being on the board now, just being banned out, it means they don't have that safety net back into sight. They use that mirror effectively, being able to pop the goyos, pop the pipes as well. A lot of damage going to both Focal and Deity. Deity actually coming about better on that display, but Foresight gets the opening pick, traded instantly back by Deity as well, and C4 may come out, maybe getting that another life, and it does!
Boom.
Wonderful from Deity, able to get a double on the round, and now we're looking at a 4v3. I was going to say as well, the goyos are still up on the board, but the Capital being banned out doesn't really effectively help this. Like, obviously, it means the person in blue can maybe sit more effectively. Obviously, the Yings will probably be funneled down blue anyway. But I was going to say it more effectively affects the third site when they go into CC. It means, obviously, we're not there yet, but it means that Rafters will be much more of a safe haven. Deity now waiting to rat, waiting to make sure no drones come his way. And since he's on mute, there may be some jammers in around. He's actually got a pocket jammer. Let's see what he does with the pocket jammer. It's called situational utility over here.
Roaming mute, eh? I mean, I feel like he just had to get out of sight as fast as possible and didn't have the ability to use that jammer where he needed to use it correctly, but it can pose to be a proper piece of utility, especially on this lurk roam, but he's gotten to pick with that C4. I mean, there's a live ping on this mute now, and they trade. Deity with the perfect crosshair placement means he's going to go down with 3 kills in hand while he leaves Inrio and Franklin up and looking to get hungry onto this site. 45 seconds left. The attackers are going to be down 1 body, and the question is, what can they make out of this play? There's still plenty of things they need to do here. They need to open the hashes up, but they have to be aware of the fact that there's a Valkyrie on the board, and she still has her C4s. Even if she detonated her C4 right here, she would have denied the pellets, but she's smarter in doing that, and the C4 will be denied as well. The soft breach verticality is going to set these attackers up perfectly, and apparently not. Carnage setting up Franklin, taking care of his faces now. It's Inrio forcing to take this blue action all by himself, looking to isolate the first gunfight onto Oil Rigs against Bray all by himself, but no joy. That flash goes away for just half a second. That's all Bray needs to win his gunfight.
Summer doesn't win on the first attempt, but Bray, wonderful shots, and I think mainly the round comes down to Deity, able to just be on that roam for so long and get 3 kills on that roam, no less. Obviously the refrag as well from his teammate. They just couldn't deal with him. I think the main problem is, the last time they roam cleared, they brought that Monty to just quickly take over the top floor, and there's nothing the defenders could do. They had no counter, they had no nothing. And I think that was the same thing. The defenders didn't really have a counter for that Monty, and he wasn't banned. So I'm curious to see what was the question marks for QOR where they didn't bring the Monty the second time. It worked great for them the first time. They were able to get picks off it. They were able to clear out the defenders with it, and they were then able to get down to sight. I think the main problem wasn't the clear with the Monty. I think the main problem was what they did after clearing with the Monty. They just took too long to set up the execute. But now looking at this round out, we're looking at the side of Karnako, again, without the mirror. They do not have the mirror, which helped them so much on this site last time round out. That was able to win them out that 1v1. So they're going to rotate to more of a aggressive lineup, maybe to just push them out of that CC position. I do like the fact they're hiding the bandit, so maybe it tells them, hey, they're going to be, so they don't know they're bandit tricking, especially the fact that obviously they haven't been bringing electrics on the side, I don't think, before, so it just allows them to maybe just keep that under wraps. With the side of the attack, I do like the side of Deimos, just allows them to figure out where these rat players are going to be playing.
Gym bedroom yet again, just 1 round shy from that switch. Now, I mean, Karn and Co. looking to continue and make this lead large, looking to continue and build up their advantage. I mean, 1 round to 3, especially on QOR's home turf, is something beautiful, and all they have to do is be able to hold on to it. A 5-1 split is ideal for any team. They would dream of it. But again, 4-2 and 3-3 is much more realistic for QOR to be able to come back from, considering this is their home turf and they will be switching on to the defensive side here. Another problem we saw on Jim, you were relying on your hard breacher to isolate it and win every gunfight he encountered without clearing the mirrors, without using certain amounts of utility. But considering mirror is now banned, they will be gifted some form of graciousness by that 3rd ban, and that's something that is always so nice to see in this new season. There's always those dynamic bans so you can adapt to how the other team plays, and Deity will fall first instead of going nuclear like the previous rounds.
Yeah, he tried that rat play, but a free frag by Foresight and another by Spiff. I said this Deimos can get these rat plays out, and instead he's just getting the frags like an entry would. Wonderful 3K by Spiff. just frying up the server. Beautiful from him. The drone walk is what's been important, though. They were able to figure out where DT was playing, just using that and then instantly putting 2 people around him. He couldn't move. He had a player on his window, had a player on his door. He tried to leave throughout the door and instantly got fragged out by the Deimos. Obviously, talking about the Deimos, he's using the new PSG Talon skin. That skin is wonderful. You can see on the gloves just the pink, the blue, the white. It looks beautiful. But now we're looking at a minute left in the round, 2v4. Karnako, they've got to stick their feet down and try and just hold back the onslaught that will be Core Gaming's attack.
Can't believe you just started glazing a skin. Does look nice though, I will give you that. But I mean, this has been a completely different round in terms of dynamics here. Usually you're watching Karn and Co dominate the round upstairs, but now that, I don't know, Spiff has decided to go nuclear. He's having a great old time here in the site. Rival will win his one onto Karn. Vic left all by himself here, looking to isolate each and every one. Will shadow Inrio at the range, and now that diffuser's down. You need to take that account because you have no time. You have now become the attacker. You need to isolate each and every one before it becomes too much and these attackers group up on you. There's still 3 bodies left to address. So much left to do here. And the question is, are you up for it, big fans? You only found 1, but they're taking their time. They're parked out here and they are just baiting you into their bullets as you continue to take damage from 2 of them holding the cross. And the third one's just waiting in logistics. But Big Bands giving himself that fighting chance. Shuts out Franklin, but Spiff just denies it, and it's 4 kills for him to shut out the round and close out that advantage. 1 for Karn, as now they'll only trail.
Very good round from Core, and I'd say very good round from Spiff. Again, it was the drone whip though. They were able to figure out exactly where the players were, and they were able to then funnel it through. Get the first pick by just surrounding the player. Then they pushed up red. Wonderful refrag from Forza to be able to take down the sledge, but then instantly, talking about refrags, Spiff got 2 of them instantly right back, able to just frag out beautifully. I would say there was a lot of like systematic parts that happened. I'd say mainly it was down to drones and just frag power from Spiff. I think that's really what just swayed the favors of that round to Core Gaming's side. But Clash is coming out. It's the first time we're seeing Clash throughout this game. Clash, you can finally ban her in rank, by the way, so that's a great massive. I found that out yesterday. God. Yeah, definitely, thank God. Well, not for me. I'm going to be honest. I've been Clash crutching, but obviously, I feel like that's fair. She's this OP. Any team should be crutching her in both Pro League and in Ranked and in Comp. But right now, we're seeing Vic Bans get onto her. I'm curious to see how he's going to be using her, though. Is he just going to be using her to just control Plat Breach? Or is he going to be playing Clash on Rafters? Looking at it right now, it looks like it is going to be the Rafters play alongside Foresight. The question mark is, I don't know if Rafters needs to be fully much controlled as much as it did last time, just because of the fact there is no Capital this time around out.
I mean, you just said you main Clash. I feel like that's a bannable offense. There's respect over crutches, is how I personally feel. Never in my life will you ever catch me maining Clash, regardless of how broken she is. Give her an AK-12 with explosive bullets and I'll still never use her. But, I mean, it's good for the teams that know how to integrate her into the roster, especially at the higher levels once you get to T3 and above. Because she, as you said before, she is simply broken. I mean, she's mobile, she's able to deny, she can even detach herself from her shield and isolate the ones, and that is beautiful for being able to receive this attacking pressure. But, again, the bans mean everything. As this being the last defensive round here for Karn and Co, they're bringing that Clash and they're bringing a very defensive-heavy roster, because if they can hold out this round, a 4-2 split is definitely better than having a 3-all.
Inrio is struggling a little bit with this Maverick breach. I think he's still scared of a C4. There is no C4 left, and I think he's finally gotten the wall open. So it's a good adaptation, obviously, with make sure they can't bandit trick and without having to force someone to go below. The Maverick is easily simple. Mav tricking, I don't know how it was found, but it's a lovely addition. Just allows anyone to be able to just instantly open the wall up. I say anyone, I cannot Mav trick. I find it completely impossible. But as I'm saying, that Spiff takes damage. They're looking to maybe just funnel through the windows, funnel through the breach, and maybe just it looks like ignore the rafters all put together. And look, yeah, it's going to be a constant take. But as I'm saying this, the Maverick goes down, and we're looking at a 45 as the execute looks to be taking place.
I mean, they're looking to just waltz into CC. Bandit looking to isolate the ones, using that shield break successfully as he will take care of that Monty, but Foresight's going disgustingly nuclear from Rafters. Takes care of one, but Spiff also has a competition in his own hands. As the case goes loose in the middle of the site, they'll manage to find themselves that level as Spiff manages to push his team to that final area. Now you gotta deal with this clash. That electric shock damage could deal so much lethal ability, but apparently not. The air jab pushes her off, and that is perfect to be able to take care of her and that Wamai. I mean, if you talk about the Siege gods being on your side, that is around where it displays that. And QOR find themselves at level with Karn.
I'm going to be honest, QOR should never win that round. That is negligence to clear the Rafter position. They didn't do it, and they just then tried to funnel through, and it does not work. Monty then walks backwards into the room where Rafters are just being held, and then gets killed. And again, continues Foresight just frags out. But lucky for them, they have Spiff on their team. And as a famous person once said, Spiff doesn't whiff. Doesn't whiff on anyone there, gets the 2k, and then somehow, like you said, Siege Gods had to have been, because they didn't hear the air jab, they didn't see the air jab, and somehow from the grave, the Nomad able to propel 2 players forward, allow the Glass to get the double kill on the round, because Clash is up. That is terrifying. The only thing that could stop her was that air jab, because if that air jab doesn't exist, they are not winning that round. But they do. Looking at the bans, double Heartbreach is going to come out from QOR. I said that maybe Hibana could be a good ban, just because then it allows, I said Hibana and Ace, just because it allows the impact track can just be a lot easier, because then you have to deal with the can openers and thermite chargers. But now you have to deal with the can openers and just 2 aces, because obviously you could only put, it takes 2 aces to break the hatch. Obviously, put one down, you need to put a second one down on top of it. Looking at the side of Karnako, Mira, not surprising. How much Karn was able to benefit off using that mirror on both the top floor side of Gym Bedroom and on the basement, it does not surprise me that they instantly want to ban out, and Cade as well, so they can just instantly get the hatches. But again, the impact's going to be the problem, which actually, QOR don't have any of. So there's going to be no impact tracking, by mistake, but not surprising. Karn waited for their final round to bring out the clash. QOR said, no, we're bringing that instantly. We're using the OPness instantly, and we're going to show you why you should have used them the entire time.
Now, as it stands, a complete change of pace. We saw how Karn and Co dominated those first 2 rounds, and the question is, what are they going to do from there? I mean, you were showing us you had the ability to force a team and force them to lose their rounds on their own map, but apparently not. The fact is, you've let them tie it up, and now you're going to have to suffer considering you're on the attacking, and QOR, they're defending their home turf. This is going to be 10 times as easy for them, but still not just a shoo-in. There are still certain measures that have to be taken as a defender to make sure you are successful. And one of those measures is to either find the first pick or run out so much time on the clock that these attackers find themselves pinched for time when they advance out.
Yeah, it's all about the time, because especially with the fact that not a lot of them are even in the building yet. I do like the striker though, because it allows you to bring throwables, and it allows you to bring, obviously, the canopers as well. Didn't question this, I didn't see this when I was speaking in the, obviously you can't really see the guns in the prep phase, but Deity has brought the Yig shotgun. It's been very prevalent recently, either down to Kagjo and SI, or down to the NA beast that is Spirits, who just brings out all the wacky stuff. I saw him on Jaeger shotgun yesterday, so he's bringing out all the tech, and everyone's like, okay, we're buying it. We're going to use it right now. Ying shotgun, I'm going to see how Deity can really rack up this site, but the verticals being open just means that the players have to be now displaced. But the thing is, they still have that dirt control, and they still have the Acad control because of the Azami. No, sorry, Azami's going to be in church, so they don't have that Acad control. It's all up going to be the dirt player that has to just withhold this push, withhold this execute. As again, Karn and Co, they're getting ready to drop that hatch, because it looks like from their positioning, it's going to be that kitchen blue take. Maybe the kitchen modo see. No, it's going to be kitchen blue. You have the Ying in blue, getting ready, throwing the Candelas down, dropping, and then going to let that shotgun ring out.
The shotgun definitely deals a good amount of damage at a very close range. If you make the mistake of getting too far and firing preliminary shots, you will make a big mistake. But as of now, they're fully sending it. All Candelas deployed, and they look to advance throughout the site. DD goes down first, and it'll just be Foresight versus this Glass at close range, and no air drops the second time around. Rival almost gets his head taken off his shoulders, but will take out 1-2 before getting traded up for the down. And now it's a 1v5. It's an absolute flawless round from QOR. Spiff from 2, and now, I mean, what a round. They received the pressure from Blue, from Moto, from Dirt, and they shut out everybody. No space, and that'll be Karn and Co to fall to 1 round advantage.
I think the main problem is the fact that the blue pressure died so quickly. As soon as they dropped the hatch, they died. Maybe it was, I can't remember who killed him, but maybe it was the fact that there was the perfect operator to counter them. Obviously, Warden was on the board. That completely shuts down Ying instantly. There's nothing they can do. Obviously, especially against range as well, when you're using that Ying shotgun, also shuts down any type of Ying push, because you then have to drop the pistol or swap to the pistol, because it looked like when they dropped, they had the shotgun ready, so it just, maybe it's an unfortunate situation, but that's really what crumbled. I was going to say, the Clash is OP, but they did actually use why the Clash was normally OP in the current situation. They just used it as a normal Clash, walked around with a shield, told them where they were, and just allowed Rival to frag off the back of the Clash, using it as that portable mirror, and just helped abundantly. And especially the fact that Spiff, double kill, again, Spiff doesn't whiff, him and Rival are cooking right now. 22 kills between them right now. I think that may be more, I don't want to do the math, but there's a chance, whatever that is, I was going to say there's a chance that's more than the entire lobby, but my quick math is probably completely wrong in that situation. But looking at the lineup right now, again, you've got the Ying, again, most likely on that shotgun, again, the Deimos being brought on one of these top floor bomb sites. So it looks like a similar lineup from Karnako, looking to maybe take that slow clear, not with the shotgun this around out, Foresight said no, looking to take that slow clear, going across and just make sure they have every single part of this map secured on their side.
I'm not mistaken, Karn and Co themselves have 31 kills combined, if I'm not mistaken, or the whole lobby. But you know what? We're just gonna skip on past that fact. We're gonna.
I actually got an A star in maths, by the way. I actually generally got an A star in maths. I just haven't done maths.
Huh? Is that how you Brits say A plus?
You know, we do say A plus actually. I'm just, yeah, it's been so long. I'm unks at this point.
Yeah. 30-year-old Milo can't do simple math.
Okay,
I feel
23.
like that's a new sign. Yeah, all right, buddy. 1 minute into the round here, and you're going to have Card and Co. They're going to have to get aggressive at some point this matchup, but that's exactly what they're going to do. Deity just plants his feet in CC and finds first blood. By taking care of the Warden, you've taken care of a person who's been pivotal so far today, and taking care of the man who can see through the flashes, the smokes, and all pieces of utility. But Spiff and Franklin, they team up to find two, and now you found yourself in a horrible spot. From having a body up with 2 minutes left to only having 90 seconds and suffering 2 casualties. And one of them being Foresight. Again, he's been giving your team a lifeline round in and round out, and now losing his Candelas as well is a big hit to the attacking roster. And Karn and Co are just going to have to show us how they want to adapt to this. They have the external play from the highway window. They have red control somewhat controlled, but the question is, what are they going to do with it? Because it looks like they're just falling short at every single turn.
They at least get a pick onto Spiff, though, so Vicmans at least equalizes that situation. It looked like they were going for that cash CT. I love that Deity was able to just lurk in, unknown to anyone, and then just wait for anyone to move around, and I think that's what Deity's been doing great. On the roam, obviously on the defense, he was able to lurk around without anyone knowing, and now on the attack, he's doing the similar thing. He's great at just lurking around and getting some beautiful picks. Problem is, his then next pick was going to be up against Spiff. And like I said before, Spiff doesn't whiff. Inrio then gets the C4, and now we're looking in the final 30 seconds left, a pseudo 2v2.
Focal goes down, but he's in an easy, optimal spot to rest as long as their cross is being held. If this Deimos gets aggressive, you can say goodnight to both of them. And that's exactly what will happen. Bray capitalizes off of his audio, deletes Franklin and Focal, leaving Inrio in a 1v2 situation. There's so many things that could have went wrong, and honestly, for both sides, there is a lot of attacking and defensive ability that needs to be polished. You can't be giving up easy kills like that. You can't be giving up easy areas of the map. And right now, I mean, a timeout for the first map I feel like would be ideal right here in the bang middle of the game. But still, so much time left in this game and the next map's upcoming. The question is, who's hungrier to show us?
Well, Khan showing he can still hang with the best, keeping his team in it there as well, getting that final pick. But Bray, again, showing that he is one of these top players, showing that he can fit into any system seamlessly, as he is really the man that kept his team in that round, getting that double onto the Deimos. But as well, you're right, he just doesn't need to be reviving there. And in reality, he should probably bait his teammate, wait for the Deimos to try to finish off the down, then swing out as soon as he's going for that downed player, and then it's a free pick for the Frost, and then you're sitting in a 2v1 with the Bandit and the Frost left alive up against Khan. But in the end, just a little bit of an error. Right now, if you look at core, it does seem like it is two players that really are just trying to keep their team in it. Inrio, Focal, Franklin, they really have not warmed up to the party yet, but they're going to rotate sites. We're going to be seeing this CCTV and Cash instead, as army again to just make sure they obviously can't get those rocket position. But instead of using the Weimar, they're using the Jaeger, because obviously he can catch those firebolts now. It's the new change going up into Siege X, so it's nice to see Core Gaming use that newest change to put into their favor, and now we're seeing Bray get a little bit more fraggy onto the Ash, nearly getting an entry pick onto Spiff there, maybe.
Spearhead of the attack will be Bray. Let's see if they'll be able to play it out here. But, I mean, again, he's been showing up to the occasion. Currently, he's the only player on his team that is positive. Not the one with the highest kills, but the only one that is positive. He's tried to make sure his body and his life stay up as late as they can, and that means something, especially to his team when it comes to keeping this clock relative. But as it stands, it is still tied up, and you guys have thrown a massive advantage at the earlier stages of this game. So the question is, I mean, what can you show us that your head is back in the game and you have everything it takes to be able to reel it back in? Because now you have a very, very well-structured attacking roster. And if you can find first blood without getting instantly refragged like last round, then you will have an optimal attack.
Right now, they've already been able to take this gym position and this bedroom position. Little to stop them. There's a couple Fenris, and obviously they've got to be careful of that gas pipe. Again, a newest addition into Siege X, but they're going to pop it early, so then they don't have to worry about it. And obviously, with those gas pipes popping, you figure, oh, that fire dissipated quickly. It's not like Goyo's fire. They last for around like 3 seconds, I think. But if you're there when it explodes, you are dead. It's an instant kill. That's why I think a really good strategy is, obviously, not a lot of people, at least in rank this works, not a lot of people pop them early, so put a Capcan trap right next to them, they both explode at the same time, you get a free pick. But right now, they are full sending this con take, and it's going to look like it's going to be Spiff up against the world trying to just combat these enemies. Obviously, the Blitz is going to be a big threat. Nothing really the Castle can do to stop a Blitz just getting up in his face and killing him, unless there's a crossfire being held. Because I think the main problem is, Rafters still has not been taken. I think Core Gaming made this mistake last time. They were able to win the round out, but Kaneko don't make the same mistake, as Foresight is going to be the opening death.
Double ooh, triple ooh! Spiff goes nuclear from the depths of red. Oh my god, what just happened? He just took care of all the pressure coming in from that construction area. Say goodbye to the spearhead of your attack. Blitz was going to be the operator that would surprise, but no bueno. As Spiff finds a third, he's living up to his prophecy. Bray, you're finding kills, but after what? Your whole team is dead. You're left by yourself in a 4v1 situation with absolutely no leeway here. These defenders are not scared to punish you, as Spiff has 16 kills next to his name, holding one of the most difficult sites to hold on this defensive. Now, he'll find 2 kills. He might even find the third. Inrio does go low, but you're only hitting him center mass, and Inrio hits his headshots. Core reclaimed the lead, and what a round that was.
Insane. Spiff, I'm surprised he hasn't been in PL again. Obviously, he had that stint on Astralis where he was able to make it all the way to, I think it was top 4 at SI. He just about lost to G2 in the lower bracket. And we're seeing why. Maybe he may be able to get a pickup in the near future, as he is cooking Kaneko right now. He is just shooting them down whenever they try to go for the execute, whenever he was going for the execute as well. And he is really the X factor on why Core Gaming is able to have themselves these 5 rounds now. If maybe the rest of his team, you could say he is the one getting kills, and that's maybe why the rest of his teammates don't really look as much flashy in the leaderboard. But just imagine if everyone was shooting as much as he was right now. Core Gaming will probably be 7-0'd right now. They'd probably be winning the 7-0, but Kaneko, they are putting up a fight, and I think it's mainly down to Bray, people like Bray and Foresight and Deity keeping their team in it as well. Again, I think the main problem was they never tried to take Rafters. Same thing that Core Gaming did last time they tried to attack that site. Rafters is such a pivotal position. It allows you to hold all the way, just watching that con side as well, but also maybe they just allowed Spiff to just take too many 1v1 gunfights without the trade really being available for the situation of Kaneko. So there's a couple of issues that Kaneko need to maybe fix up before this count. And you said about a timeout. I think the timeout maybe should have came after that round, because Kaneko, they made a similar mistake when they went down to basement. They just allowed a flurry of picks happen with no refrag. So that could be the issue right now for Kaneko, so I'm surprised maybe the time it didn't come out. Core Gaming right now, looking at lineup, they went for bunker last time. It's going to be a full-on roam this time round out. Curious how Kaneko will be able to clear this out.
I mean, just what a way to lose that round. I mean, we talk about how CC is a hard site to push. I mean, we can put it to hard, we can put it to difficult, but again, The main idea is Karn and Co struggle to hold this site. And the first time Core goes for it, they have one man go absolutely disgusting. And did he just floor bang him?
He just floor banged him.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, boot up Moss. Check Spiff right now, 17-5, and he'll find his 17th via floor bang. I mean, IQ, sayonara, as now that's first blood on the board, only a little bit under a minute into the round. And that is, oh my god, I think that's the first I've seen that before. As now, you have now lost your IQ with a Mozzie and a Valkyrie on the board. What are you going to be able to do for the rest of this round when this intel continues to spot you without you being aware?
Insane. That is one of the craziest picks I've seen. Obviously, it did come down to the fact that they had that Valkyrie hammer, and now they're looking to double up on the player inside a lounge. Never mind, they're just getting back. Spiff's able to get down. There's a guy in lounge. Deity, he ran past you. How are you letting both of these players get back? Vic Bands at least gets the refrag, gets one of the roamers running back, and the hatch is also open. If someone was holding that, it's a free pick, and Spiff cannot get back. But now, the raid boss, he's back in sight, looking to cause even more chaos inside the site, especially with the fact he also has a C4. Time is ticking away, and just like Karnico had on their defenses, the Goyo cannons are back on Core. They are going to waste so much time when Karn wants to go for this execute, and seeing how the sense gadgets are slowly going to be thrown out, the execute may be happening sooner rather than later right now.
I mean, we talk about the verticality on this site with low time on the clock. Now, the question is, what is he going to be able to do? Because you have below a minute here, you have some of your players taking damage. Vic Vance took some damage trying to take a gunfight off the verticality here, and he couldn't land a bullet. You do have Deity with the 4 Candelas and a shotgun as a primary, and I think it was epic on 5 Fears last week where we saw some man go crazy with this shotgun. But I'm really hoping, really hoping that Core can show us why they can receive the pressure, why this is their map. A C4 toss a little too early. No one's dropped that hatch yet. Rival on the foresight. Those Candelas are still going to get sent through, and only 10 seconds left on the clock. Deity, take into account your surroundings. In Rio, we're going to kill into Karn. Deity goes down. Vic Bands left all by himself in the site, and it's Franklin to end him out with a shotgun. I mean, come on. Siege 101. Check the corners, then run towards site. But that's match point for Korn. What else do you expect when the team coordination is just perfect?
It's so simple, but what the player did who killed Foresight on that Ying was so smart. Even if he was blinded and killed him while blinded, he backed up as far as he could go inside of Oil Pit and took him down because he knew the Ying shotgun was going to be there, and he knew he'd drop with the shotgun being held. So he put as much distance as he could between him and the player. He wasn't one and couldn't see through the flashes. So his best advantage was just to make sure there was distance, so then either Foresight had to switch, wasting time to make sure then he could maybe be unblinded, or just have to just pray the shotgun did as much damage in that far range. And by the time he was unflashed or dead, there's a player behind Generator also flashed out, so then he could swing and get the refrag. It's just these little moments in Siege that makes the biggest of differences. Looking at the lineup from Core, it looks like a similar lineup they had last time. You see the Frost, you see the smoke, you see the Valkyrie for that information, and you see the Wamai. So they're going to be holding aggressively on this top red again this time around out, hopefully just not allowing another lurk play from Deity, who was able to get that opening frag last time just by walking up rafters, walking into CC, and then instantly fragging out. Spiff did get the refrag, but then that really just started a barrel of just allowing the Calm players to just get into these rat positions and get frags based on just them, of course, not knowing where they are. So I think the Valk is a good way to just figure out where these players are coming from.
It was a big battle of custody in blue. I mean, you had those Candelas getting sent in through. There was a big mistake of not checking the corner. You had Deity just not checking that long corner of the oil rig. But I mean, still, having access to oil rig that late in the round is so essential to being able to either access Church or AKs. It's honestly up to you, whatever path you choose to go down. But they just couldn't pinch it out here. And that is the reason they're staring down the barrel of the match point here. I mean, you guys are showing us why you want to be here. You're bringing it so close, but again, when it comes to putting that final nail in the coffin, it's just not there. You're getting aggressive, you're finding first picks, but you're just not showing us the final blows that Core needs to fall. You'll take care of Focal, and this is what I mean, an essential player. The Valkyrie now gone means there is a key part of the map not going to be monitored by a C4 from below, as there's no C4s left, and you force the bodies back to site, meaning a 4v5, you've cleared CC, build up the play, and start to utilize your utility.
I said the main issue was last time was the fact that DAT was able to lurk up rafters, lurk into CC, and get a free pick. He didn't lurk do it this time, but he was able to get that space again. Khan, what are you doing? The old age is getting to him. Why are you just ADSing in front of an open hole where they can swing you? The ADS is very loud. And you can see now when he's ADS'd. So, questionable decision from Khan. He gives away the pick back, and now we're looking at the 4v advantage. Obviously, Focal is dead, but the Vault Cam is in Con. So maybe he also gave away that information, because sometimes someone being dead also helps, just allows them to just not micromanage, but just IGL from going to grave. Obviously, Franklin is the IGL in this stage, but Focal has the experience of IGLing a T2 winning team. So he knows how to do it, and then obviously he gets to sack, just watch the cams. But the smoke base comes out, DT has the fuser. How is this going to play out?
I mean, it's a problem when you're losing the tip of the arrow of your attack here. Karn goes down, just 30 seconds left here, and the attackers are going to have to force the funnel into a certain area, and it's Franklin to take care of one body before he falls. Spiff will find the second. I mean, a double team to be able to come out on top, as they'll have that one-man lead. They don't have any denial left from the smoke, and Bray will take care of Spiff to make matters worse, but a leveled playing field, 2v2 in that case, has yet to go down. The man who possesses it is only 1 HP. That's a problem. But Bray, I mean, he wants to give his team that fighting chance. He's been winning each and every single gunfight, and now it'll be Inrio to try and win his team, try to send them that second map, as he'll take care of the first, but Deity finds the last second kill, takes care of business in Card & Co. They still have some fight left in them.
I was gonna say, if this round was lost, it was down to the new CJX mechanics, because when he dropped Logi Hatch, I'm guessing he knew where he was, but he couldn't ADS, so he just fell to his death. But again, Bray, he is the impact maker. Deity got the opening pick. It's both those two just working off each other. Bray made his presence known, able to get the pick back, make it the 2v2, and then knew the player was in bathroom, walked up on him. Maybe the player in bathroom is holding just too close for an angle, so the bathroom stall is actually covering him up. So then he couldn't see him, and then it's a free pick back out. And then Bray may die. Inrio, though, made the choice to run down the stairs, give the opportunity for DT to at least try to fake the plant, and then with, I'm pretty sure it's 0.7 seconds left on the clock, Core Gaming loses the round because DT makes up the headsets play, gives the decision to, okay, I'm getting off plant now. We either lose this round by him killing me on the plant, or we win this round by me killing him, and he just about got the kill, won the round out. Deity and Bray, they are the heroes right now for Khan. They are the ones keeping this game in the grass for them, as we may be seeing an overtime on the horizon.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Match point still in the favor of Core, but it's become 10 times more realistic for Card & Co. to be able to bring this back and force OT our first map. And honestly, what a game this would be if we started it off with an OT. It shows us that both teams really want this, and they're going to need the maximum requirement, pass regulation, to show us the clear victor for the maps. But as it stands, there are still problems from Card & Co.'s attacks. They waited till the very last second, and they got isolated. And it was a 2v2 until very late, and that is an issue. I mean, Deity got very lucky that there was a man running at him full speed with a shotgun. If Inrio had waited just a millisecond longer, that would have been over, and that we would have been looking down the barrel of Layer already. But again, the issues continue to show us why Card & Co. aren't the ones in the lead, as Karn falls first for the second time in a row.
Laughing about his own death. Interesting. But opening pick finally goes away with Core Game, and I don't think they've had an opening pick when actually defending the gym bedroom site. It's actually been Deity both times, and this cache extension looks like it's actually finally bared fruits as they've been able to get everyone away alive, able to get the... It's not even a C4. I was going to say they get the C4 and Valk alive. Because Valk has impacts. Maybe expecting the Blackbeard for a second time, so they could use the impacts to just throw the shield out the way, and then be able to just shoot him out with his secondary player. But it's not a dumb idea, but obviously this time around out there is no Blackbeard on the board. but there's going to be the Yings for a second time. So Rival is going to be one of the most important operators in this round, as Focal is actually going to be the most important, as he gets free on the round! Nearly a fourth as Foresight drops down, but he's able to at least get the pick. 4v2, but Bray, is that a Frost mat? It maybe it is. It's the top red Frost mat. So both players on Carnico are going to be low on the HP department, and Bray, he's also going to be hobbling.
Can Spiff cross that 20 kill mark? Bray is going to be immobilized until there are 4 seconds left in the round. That's an issue. I mean, what just happened? You're allowing each and every player on this team to get their individual clutch moment. Focal just took care of the whole attacking roster before it even got to the depths of sight. Franklin looking to address the logistics control all by himself. The smoke grenades teamed up with the SMG-11 takes care of Foresight, leaving Bray all by himself in construction. Spiff, I wouldn't be surprised if you were hungry to find that 20th, but still, he is at the lowest of low HPs, and that clock is running down against him on the match point. He's desperate to run out the clock. He's desperate to find something, but he just won't be able to connect any bullets to make that happen. And Inrio finds 2 and the last kills to be able to make matters worse here for Card & Co. That's map 1, done and dusted, ended out in regulation, and we'll move on to Layer.
That's not even a 20 bomb for Spiff. I thought they were just going to let him have it. I thought he was just going to run at him.
Yeah,
Spiff's that kind of player, just be like, hey, just run full spin at him. I think it's 1 HP. It looked like he was the closest 1 HP. But it came down to the end where they just learn in the end. I would say each and every time they went to Gym Bedroom bomb site, Deity was able to lurk up, get an open pick. They're like, okay. They keep doing the same thing over and over again. Let's be ready for it. This time around out, I think maybe Khan, who was obviously the opening death. So either it was a spawn peak or he went too early. But in the end, Khan & Co. just about falls short. It was a very close affair. I think both teams, they've got some mistakes to work on. I think both teams have got some positive they can take away from that game. But they've got to go back to the drawing board, as the next map is going to be Khan & Co.'s pick.
Wow. Layer next up, if I'm not mistaken. 7-5 is the end of the first core, really showing us what they have in store. As we move on to the home turf of Card & Co., we need to see what they can do to show us they have a response and they're willing to stay in this fight and try to push it that third map. But these are all questions that will be answered after a short break. Make sure to go grab a refresher, do a jumping jack, a push-up, whatever you need to do. Make sure to drop a follow if you are enjoying these games today, and we'll see you guys in a couple.
Not just yet. Rival with 2 kills. And now it's 6-5. This Phantom Legion.
Technically, the Lion is going to be down. He's not out just yet, but it doesn't matter. 2v3 comes out. Never mind. Maybe 2v1. That line does get finished off. It is going to be Mr. Iron who happens to play up one that round. It's an amazing player. He didn't just swing out from the London. Oh my god! Let him go.
Retake. They've got sight. Didi's gonna drop the diffuser. 3v2 now for Aerial Rise. It's all down to Snake. Can he show the moves with the charge? It's gotta make a lot happen here. He's gotta get the diffuser as well. He's kind of holding right now. I think he's trying to bait this player inside kitchen. Does so successfully, but there's still 2 players you gotta watch out for. You got one above, you got one towards the staircase, and I think he's actually aware of what's happening here. 24 seconds now for Snake. Swings. That's 1. It's now 1v1. Snake versus Rival. 14 HP. The defuse begins. Does he get the sound cue? Yes, he does. Here comes the Chow. He doesn't see him. He's gotta go. He's gotta go. He's gotta go. No! Oh, and the sneak.
The hollow gives you a bigger advantage, and it gives him the advantage in the fact we're getting a little top pick, and we might see Thermite go down to a lesion, but he does get finished off.
As Twist is also just trying to get what little he can done with that DMR. 1 player's down, but 2 fall to a C4. As now we see Twist left all alone in a 1 versus 2 effectively, a 1 versus 3 if they can get Hero up. And now, any and all gaps you could have to get into the site are, well, they're going to be difficult. JJ,
but it's starting to dwindle. Sentier finds 1 onto Schleim. That's a big pick to even things out. Can they even pick up the user safely? They don't know. It's in the way of the breach, and that's going to make things difficult. They have a ping on this Azami, though. He just needs to find the right pick, but that's such a thin angle. Azami's going to drop off and rotate away, and that's a good move. That's a quad for 2. Finding 1 with Sentier. Ying's going to go out, but it doesn't matter. as Duke swings the other direction, finds rival, and picks up the ace on the round.
To directly duel this player inside of Control Hall. But he's gonna try to make it difficult to predict his positioning. He's gonna get that pick on to Kiru, as now it's a 1 versus 2 for JJ inside of the bomb site. Gonna try to make it a 1 versus 1 as soon as he can, and he's gonna do it. And this the kill knows it! And he's gonna get the map with a 1 versus 2 clutch! Redline as well wasn't fighting his demons. You don't get that pick. Diffuser is dropped. It's immediately refract. 10 seconds left. Bugs continue to fly out for wounds. He gets another one as well. All of this to Israel. He's flying one. He's not going for this last pick. He's got one more something.
Decent spot. They do some damage to Shrady as well. They know about the player that's still inside of security. Seems as though they do, and they're not going to take the fight with him. Space finds the kill. Space finds 2. Third kill for Space. Make it a 4th. Space closes out Border 7-4, and Lycus Empire put themselves 1 map away from the full flash though. Chance for more. Goes again, and they still get that kill. Shrady, what? May not matter though. Connection from Shock. Playing from Pantry. 2 down to their name. The TSW. Right up on the other side. No way they get a 3rd from there. But Swifted just has to wait. Not sure what to angle this. Headshot's good. Just have to hide. 18 seconds. Swifted calling GG. Knows they have this control, but this brightest angle could be there for Space. The run out. They know they can't go further. Oh! No chance for it!
Win this round. Now we're going to see Swift make his way up the long haul, and he's gonna get the first pick. He is off it. He's gonna get 2. If he can get a 3rd here, that's massive. And he almost does. It's all up to Emilio. But no, he can't do it. QOR deny the back-to-back championship. Deny JJ another trophy and win Blitz Season 2. 3-2.
And now it's all down to Dead. Dead, what do you do? 30 seconds on the clock. Do you have the time to work with? But they have to get the diffuser down or hunt down this last player. The drone work is coming through. They now know its position. Here comes the classic family legion. They're going to make this work happen. Oh, the great pick there to rival. That was the start for the shutdown. Dead has full HP. Valeno only at 16. And Free Fire comes through and Bruce clutch it up. It is a collapse for Phantom Legion, but you still have to keep in mind this is.
Line will be stepped in there for Shocks, just trying to be assistant there towards Swifted. Minute has been burned though, and no one's been dusted, but man oh man, Shrady's getting close. They're walking into the loving lines aside of everybody, and there it is, but you're trying to get in if you're Space. The timing's just not right. You win both! 3! Space! Knocking and humbling everyone on the entry in for Team Brick. What a monstrous!
He lands 2. It's a 5v1. What is up with these guys? And
Revive Kiru, bring things back to a 1 versus 2 with that Boss G. Very dangerous, especially with that shot on the Kiru. It's all left up to Emilio in this 1 versus 1. He has the angle.
Now, some interesting news. We found out it's actually Conslip that will be our second map. So, for our troubles, we want you guys to do us a big favor. Go at the William Jackson on Twitter and show him an immense amount of support or hate, whatever you guys want to tell him. But without further ado, it was an amazing first map. 7-5 ended out. We almost went to overtime, but Karn & Co just didn't have the fuel to put it into overdrive and show us those extra rounds needed. But they're on their home turf now. And Milo, what are your expectations?
Well, looking at the lineup, obviously, right now, it does seem like QOR is going to be starting on the defense, so they'll have the momentum side. They'll have the side that obviously favors them, and they'll be able to just slowly encapsulate rounds, take the momentum. But Karn, they've shown to be very good up against QOR teams on Consulate. We saw Karn himself clutch a 1v5 against the QOR underagers. What was it? It was TPO XGS play-ins. So he knows how to wrangle QOR on this map. Obviously, being the main team, that will be a little bit harder. But I'm going to see if maybe with that time away, they were able to fix the issues they were having. Obviously, the drone work being an issue, obviously not allowing like DET to rat away for QOR. And obviously, same with Karn & Co being the timing issues as well, with just when they want to funnel in as a team. Obviously, Karn himself obviously also just not knowing when to take a gunfight or certain place. But right now, we're going up into Consulate. Very excited to see. What are your thoughts for this game, though, Zeno? How are you seeing? Which team do you think favors?
Well, I mean, there is a momentum certainly being built up from Core just due to the fact that Spiff was going absolutely nuclear. And I mean, they just need to do this on one more map. And we've seen they're not horrible on Consulate. Even if this is Karn's pick, they're not too bad on this map, meaning this is going to be a very interesting map, an interesting lineup here. As now, if we see this go into the favor of Core, we are going to see a Core versus Core Acad, which is honestly absolutely mind-blowing. It's the first to happen in playoffs. They've played one head-to-head so far, and I'm very excited to see how that'll turn out if, just if, Core can finish it out right here and right now.
Memories of Aerial Rise versus Aerial Rise Academy we could be having, but right now we're looking at the bans for map 2. Ying off the board, not surprised at all. Karn & Co loved the Ying. Foresight basically played it every single round. So Core's like, okay, we're taking that away from you, no more, you don't get that anymore. And Cade as well, we saw Karn also ban out Cade last time, so again, not surprised. Goyo as well, both teams loved the Goyo. It just meant that the roam clear had to be a little bit quicker because the Goyo canisters wasted obviously 20 seconds each time. And now the Cade, obviously, if the team goes basement, it just means they don't have to worry about bringing EMPs to make sure they can get the hatches open. Vocal, again, we saw how much Core like to instantly start off using the Clash, showing its strengths. And again, they're going to do the same thing out on Consulate. Obviously, the top floor, most defender-sided site, in my opinion. I think it's so hard to push, because every single way you try to push from, there is a way the defenders can shoot you. Every staircase, there's probably going to be a gun on you. You rappel on the window, you're going to be prone to a gun. The old way could be maybe dropping down a skylight and maybe catching someone unaware, especially yellow skylight. But now with the changes, you can't have your gun up when dropping the skylight, so that's just as hard. So I think the site has become a double fortress now with the changes. The main idea that teams would like to do is go for that rush on the main window or go for the rush on the water window. But looking at the lineup, it's going to either be that admin style over or going to be the yellow style take. So I think that definitely, yeah, it's going to be the admin side over. So the question is, are they able to clear out that vending machine position? Because that's going to be the first position they need to take.
Now, there are a lot of things that can happen on Consulate. There are many areas you can try to force the defenders to toss their focus on while you do a completely different attack, or you just toss a diversion and hope for the best. Now, the main one I see is an admin diversion or a full admin take. But from the admin diversions, we see all the utility get prioritized into admin, and then from there, they'll open up the catering breach and do a complete rotation onto the B chassis windows. Now, this is going to be a quite interesting first round because it kind of dictates how the rest of this game is going to go. It's going to show us which team is going to show us that they are wanting it more. Is Core Academy going to build up their momentum? Is Karn & Co going to show us that they still have a little bit of fight left in them? But as of now, admin control seems to be the main name of the game as they're addressing it head on with plenty of utility in their favor.
Yeah, it does seem like that's going to be the situation they want to go for. But again, they've only just repelled in. It's been a minute and they've lost the opening pick. C4 by Rival takes down Deity. The Nomad is down, so no more hacking with his drones. And that's just even worse for the side of Karn & Co, especially with only the second player, Bray, gets in with half the round already gone. And they still have to try and figure out how to clear out the Clash, who's going to be playing in and around this vending hall. But the Mute nearly exposed himself. Bray nearly gets the pick. It's curious to see how long of a time the Karn & Co really wasted just trying to get into the building just because they were scared of those C4s over the top. And now, the fact that Core can now just back away without losing life, without losing much utility, is just very questionable. Karn just not being able to just get anything done, especially with the Clash tricking right in front of Vicman's face.
That's a problem, considering he's also lost both of the projectile reaches. Now, he's going to have to deal with this being mobilized unless you're going to have a Rotero or a Frag land on the shield, and there's only one each left. Just below a minute, and these attackers are going to be pinched for time, considering the utility is not going to stop. The F-Nuts are still intact, the smoke grenades, there's only one left, one Toxic Babe left, but there are no C4s, which is in itself good, but still lots to do. and no time to do it in. You've lost first blood and you're forcing a full-powered defensive roster. And QOR is not a team that will toss bodies for fun, especially when they are on the series point. As Karn will find a kill to take care of Franklin, but Focal finds a double, and now it's become 10 times more realistic for them to find the first. Focal for a triple, are you serious? Rival finishes it out, but honestly, look at that footwork behind the shield. Wow, as now that'll be QOR's first round on the defensive, and that is what a great way to start off the game.
So Striker had nade, and I'm pretty sure, if I saw correctly what happened, because I saw the indicator appear on Khan when he was trying to take the fight with the Clash, I think Khan walked in front of the Striker when he was throwing the nade to then hit off Khan's back and went back into his teammates. So they literally had something to clear the Clash, but it was just unfortunate timing, which then allowed a nuclear performance from Focal to get that free K, and again just proves how strong the Clash is. It was literally one operator and a C4 that completely shut down that entire push. We're going to see the basement this time round out, and it looks like they're going to be going for this heavy roam extension. I was co-streaming the Element 5 course, and it was actually a similar thing that Dreams and Nightmare did. They were able to just hold down the top floor for so long. They started obviously on the highest floor, the third floor, moved down to that second floor, or first floor, then moved from the second floor to the first floor, and then were able to just hold that down forever. And then when the pressure was too insurmountable, they dropped the hatch, then were able to go all the way back down to the first floor, maybe even getting a pick along the way. It just meant there were so many layers that the other team now has to just completely set apart, and Khan will have to try to battle through those same layers.
Now, yeah, honestly, you couldn't have worded it better. There's so many things that Karn and Co need to switch up to be able to be successful on the attack. That Clash was a big problem to deal with. She's not going to be on the roster this time around, but still, you're going to have one man on the roam, you're going to have another on the lurk, and you're going to have Amira to deal head-on in this site. While Acad might not be on the board here, there's still so much you guys are going to have to do, considering QOR has a series in their hand, and they have the ability to continue and stack up their rounds. But Bray, he's been somebody that's been consistently trying to fight his team up to victory, as now he'll find two within a minute to take care of two roamers, forcing everybody either onto the first floor or onto the site. Meaning, Focal is going to try to get involved on Spiral, but you have to go back down. If you find yourselves in a 2v5 situation with above a minute 30 seconds on the clock, then these attackers are going to have so much time in the world to be able to try to slow down and execute.
Yeah, just wonderful from Bray. You said it perfectly. He has been the man that has spearheaded his team on multiple rounds in Clubhouse, and he's going to do the same on Consular. Able to get that double, maybe Spiff and Rival just a little bit too far apart from each other, not able to get that free frag instantly, or maybe Bray is just too nasty. Able to get that 2 picks on the board, and now we're looking at Khan and Co. They've been able to get the control they needed, but time is dwindling away. That's the only factor that really can just negative them in the back, especially with Franklin. In fact, he still has a C4 and a mirror under in pocket. Curious to see what his plan is to do with this pocket mirror. Right now, he's just close to the breach, waiting for maybe the vertical to start just happening, so he can then instantly throw that C4, get the pick back. Every single player from the side of Core Gaming is back in sight, so Karnako, they've been able to muster up both floors. It's curious to see if they can slowly get the vertical, get the hatches open, and start getting ready for the execute with this 5v3 advantage.
There's 50 seconds left on the clock here, and now, again, we're finding these attackers stall out here. The only thing that's different is they have the advantage of the bodies. I mean, the drones as well. Focal almost found a very successful flank here, but Vic Bands is smart, and he's smart enough to know the aggression is going to come sooner or later. But Focal just has that better 1v1 ability and will take care of Vic, as the case is now forced loose, and these attackers are going to have to retrieve it and go directly to the site and start isolating their ones. Bray continuing to punish these defenders one by one, and Deity to take care of Focal with Foresight capitalizing outside the building. There's the response from Karn, and that is the team we saw in the earlier stages of Clubhouse.
His doesn't really matter if you just kill everyone in the building. Wonderful shots. Bray obviously was the man that really started going, but then it just allowed them to just take the map in their favor. Yes, it took a little bit of time, but they were able to just play it safe, drone out, figure out that all the players had just dropped below, get the ramps going, get the vertical going, and just made Core have to move around inside the site. They couldn't stay still because of how much pressure was just piling on top of them. We saw the player move out the cage. He then was stuck between the yellow door, able to be fragged out. Focal got one at least one going for his flank, but then couldn't get any more as they knew the information, they knew where he'd be coming from. And then again, the final player was probably just in and around site and probably died to the vertical because again, just the pressure was just too much. We're going to be seeing the middle floor bomb site. Obviously, this is most teams' tertiary bomb site. It allows you to play on both different floors. You can play on the basement and you can play second floor as an extension. Basement's normally for if you want to prefer C4 up to try and stop the person from planting, but the top floor is the main vertical you need as the attacker, as it just allows the defenders to just have so much control over that bomb site. If you want to go for a plant, you can't, because of the fact there are just so many vertical holes the defenders can hold when you try to go for that plant. That's maybe why you see the glads coming out. They can smoke out these vert holes and then maybe get one of those free picks as they try to just peek out.
A 1-all score line is one of the most dangerous ones, and I'm going to die on that hill alone. I've gotten called stupid for saying it, but still, especially on the second map, it always determines, again, who is setting the pace, who is following, and who is leading. And right now, it was obvious that QOR were the ones leading that first round, but Karn, you had the players who were taking the initiative to find the first kills, the second kills, and the third kills before QOR can find that response. And if that
I want to
can
quickly
continue
interrupt
to
you
repeat,
quickly, because Khan just rappelled up, then rappelled down to get on the other side. Does he forget the change of the rappel?
one of that side's bugged because it's a little bit of like a spiral.
Okay, never mind then. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry, Khan. I cooked the king.
I mean, he's still old, so you can cook him for that. But I mean, just a minute
I'm
in here
also
and still
old.
no casualties. Yeah, but you're 35. He's about 40.
Yeah, fair.
They're looking to address head-on. It'll be Deity to find first blood here, taking care of Spiff the King. Haven't seen much out of him in these last 2 rounds. I mean, he managed to find double digits last game, edging on the 20th as well. He just couldn't lock that out. But as of now, he's been shut out twice, and he can't find any leeway. Deity getting himself on the front line. C4 takes him down to 1 HP, and Rivals there to finish that call, finish off that double team, and now we'll find ourselves at level.
I'm just questioning the idea to sit in a Fenrir at a mine and then wait for the final second to shoot it. But right now, Khan and Bray are cooking up 4v2, and Rival is stuck in a rock and a hard place, and Foresight is going to make it even harder, especially for QOR, as they now look in a 1v4. The defenders may not be the ones with the advantage, as Khan and co are cooking on the attack, and this is why it is their map pick. 1v4, can Inrio get it done, though?
Nope.
No.
Foresight, straight bullets to the head will get the job done. And I mean, this is very similar to what we saw on Clubhouse. It's QOR in panic, just trying to keep the round difference short and sweet. So by the time they get to the half, if they're looking down the barrel of a 3-3 or a 4-2, they can come back, they can go up ahead and have a great old time. But still, it's the earlier stages of the map, meaning they can still walk out of this half with the lead. But still, it's only up to them and what they want to offer to the team. We've seen 1-3-3 split so far, and from there we saw them build up the pace when they switched on to the other side. But the question is, can they do the same thing now that they're on their opponent's turf?
Yeah, it is going to be the question mark. Obviously, they get to go back to that first floor, which they had so much success on. But problem is, they've lost one of the reasons they had that success. Clash, banned out by Kaneko. So they're going to pivot. They're going to be using the Izami instead. Obviously, she can just replenish their keepers over and over again to make sure they can hold down that vending machine position. My question mark is for QOR is the fact they're not bringing anything to just stop the throwables. No Jaeger ADSs, no one Myers. Just means the vending position will be a little bit harder because obviously one nade thrown, they have to move away. They have to run away. And the other thing is, obviously, if they hold down the same position, they can't do the same C4. Kaneko will not fall for it a second time. It looked like for their first lineup, they were going to be going for one of those rushes, either the water rush or the main site window rush, because obviously the Amaru was on the side of Khan. But it looks like they've thought better of it. Maybe going for the yellow side take instead, with the Blackbeard dropping down yellow with the shield in front of him so he can't be shot out, with maybe a player behind him also dropping to them, maybe get the frag on if a player tries to swing out onto the Blackbeard. So the lineup may just tell us what we want from this situation, but it looks like it looks like they are maybe going for the yellow play, judging by their positions.
I mean, this was a controversial site, especially with that Clash on the board, but now she's banned. There's so much they can do, considering they also have a Blackbeard integrated, and Bray on Ashe has always been effective. you have a spearhead that can be a dual arrowhead, because now you're going to have Deity. If he goes down, you'll have Bray in substitution. But it's all about what they can do as a team. And I'm going to say this every single time because it's round in and round out. We see QOR playing as a team, winning their rounds as a structured unit. And then out of nowhere, you'll have Acad and Co. play beautifully one round, and the next they just don't even look like they know what they're doing. So if they can continue to bring a stable amount of team play, then they will find the first kill. I mean, Vic will take care of Rival, but somehow Swift takes care of two, and that'll be Acad and Deity taken care of. Losing those flame bolts and the shield up becomes a problem, but Foresight is here to try to push his team and egg them on to try to reel it back in. As it's now left at level, both sides have the ability and the time to reset.
I said they couldn't do the same C4. He tried to go for the wall, but then got burnt out and got shot out. So instead, Spiff said, okay, I'm just going to throw one out from Coffin. Got the double kill, able to even the man count, obviously, actually get the man count for the side, but then the man count was evened back up. Foresight getting the pick back. It looked like Spiff just got confused. He looked like he was about to run out the door and then just completely stopped. And now, Khan is lying in all chat. You cannot lie on the internet, Khan. You can't tell us that you love Spiff and then say that you were lying. Uncalled for, outrageous from Khan. I think we should ban him from the league for lying on the internet. But in the end, we're looking at the 3v3. Azami is still up. We still have the keepers. There is still as well 2 smoke babes in pocket. And a minute remaining. The time is ticking. Kaneko, you need to either get these picks or get the diffuser on the ground. The drones are also going out. They're figuring out where these final players are. And the go buttons will slowly start ticking.
Just below a minute left. There's some utility left for these attackers. But the question is it enough? There's only a Toxic Babe left for Enreal, but we've seen before he can do wonders with the SMG-11 and that shotgun. Sometimes he doesn't need his utility, but he's definitely going to prioritize it, especially when this plant looks to go down. You're in catering, but you're going to get shut out at the depth, but Foco reels it back in, looks to isolate, just can't. Vic takes care of business for 2, and now it has become so realistic for these defenders to go down 1-3, and that's exactly what will happen as Foresight will find his next kill and next victim as he'll shut out Franklin. And now we're looking down the barrel of a one-sided half as Acad and Co. put themselves in a very similar situation to Clubhouse. The question is, can they make it a different outcome by pushing for the 4th and 5th rounds?
I'm questioning right now. I swear he had another smoke. Why is he swinging out instead of throwing the smoke again? Yes, they were watching for it. Yes, they probably would have shot it out. But I think that's a better opportunity to at least throw the smoke babe, give an opportunity, and then maybe swing the other player with your teammates. Because it looked like he just swung without even just giving it a second thought, giving away the free pick, and then putting his teammates in a really poor situation, having to go for that 2v2 retake while the plant was fully taken down. And now we're looking at Kaneko, who I said were on the worst side. I said QOR would have the momentum side if they were able to get these defenses, but they're not. They're not being able to get these defenses. I think obviously the clash helped them massively in that first round. I think Spiff gave them a lifeline in that last round, but Kaneko, they just look like such a different team on Consulate. This is why it's their map pick. This is why it's their domain, and seeing if they can keep this ball rolling. As right now, Foresight, Bray, they are the ones cooking, and QOR Gaming, they don't look like they're changing up the strategies. They look like they're going for, again, this very heavy roam, this very heavy extension. I just need to see differences. I need to see them playing together more as a team and make sure they can get the refrags together without allowing someone like Bray to get a double kill without it being traded or without it being rectified.
I think the smoke had to swing out, because if he threw the canister over that little cubby in the depths of that wall, the top of that wall, it wouldn't hit, it wouldn't be able to connect and arch over in time before that plant went down. Just speculation, not confirmed, but I mean, he fell and that round was over regardless. But I mean, the way that Karn is playing, the way you said it perfectly, they are looking so much more comfortable. But again, they were looking comfortable on Clubhouse because they had a 3-1 lead as well. Their main issue is maintaining said lead. And all they have to do is continue to find the first picks, play as a team, and they will be A-okay, because we know they're capable of it. They have players who can win their gunfights. They have people who can use the right utility, the right operators, and they just need to build off of that, because it's a team who struggles to maintain by the time they get to that half. As again, previously, you saw Bray find a double kill on Ash on this floor previously when that site was downstairs. Now, what's changed? As now Foresight goes down first, Rival goes out in trade, but Spiff is here to take care of Deity, and this is a completely different sided affair. I mean, you found so many roamers the previous time. What has changed? What is different? Vocal, DK Spiff, I don't know how, I don't know where, but he'll just wallbang Bathroom, but it doesn't matter. He'll redeem himself to find his second kill of the round. And this attacking has been completely dissected by QOR as we speak on being able to maintain the lead. It looks like Card & Co just can't do that. I mean, just a minute here left on the clock. They're looking to address it head on, but you still haven't cleared all of the fundamentals. Basement is that site, and it's going to be a problem when you haven't checked the mud in the closet first. As now, a 1v3 is going to be the biggest problem here for Card & Co. Bray, you've been able to find first kills, you've been able to take care of the roamers, but can you take care of matters when it's directly head on? It's below half a minute left, and it'll be Inrio to close out the round, and now QOR Gaming give themselves that fighting spirit, that chance to continue to have that 3-3 split that they so desperately seek.
I was so locked into watching the game, I completely forgot to unmute after sneezing. But I was going to say, the drone looked like it was working. They were able to drone out the Mozzie, but the thing is, Mozzie took all the drones onto him. So he took all the attention, all the light, and shot all the drones as well. So in the end, they were not able to figure out, hey, there's maybe another player upstairs. Being the person inside the bathroom who was able to swing out, get the pick, they technically got the refrag, I guess, in a way, but it was actually Focal taking him out, who then was able to kill the person who was trying to cover him from retracing back to site. And then it was all left up to Bray in the end, in that 1v3, which was never going to happen. So QOR Gaming, they've got some life in them. They're able to battle back. It's surprising. If Card & Co get this attacking round, though, I will be cursed, because the last time I also casted casted, I was having major technical issues, but the last time I casted Consulate, obviously Space Shoot versus Turtle Tactics. Turtle Tactics had a massive 5-1 attack in half. Maybe I'm just the person that says, hey, Consulate's defender-sided by the ways, and then it turns out to be attacker-sided. So maybe I'm the curse for these teams.
Or maybe your amnesia's memory doesn't serve you right. I mean, after all, you are viable, you are allowed to go into retirement home next year, man. I know it's getting hard on you on the outside, but it's all okay. You have me to help you through it. Card & Co, you need to win this round, and honestly, it's going to be that one cutthroat statement that I'm going to make. It's 2-3 right now, you guys still have the lead, and if you can make it that 4-2 split, it's 10 times as easy when you switch on to the defensive of your own map. But still, it poses a problem when you allow QOR Gaming to dissect your plays on the attacking, when, I mean, you guys attacked this basement site previously, and you guys killed the roamers, worked the vert, and walked your way down into the site and won your 1v1s. But that last round showed us that that was only a fantasy that we saw earlier in the stage, because what were we seeing? We had players going down on that second floor. You have players just walking up yellow stairs, Focal taking care of 2 bodies before he falls himself, isolates the one on basement. It becomes a problem. But Card & Co, you still have the ability to push for that lead, and this round is going to be evident of what the rest of this match will be.
I'll slide past the age slander, but we're looking at them going a little bit quicker this time around out. They're able to get this admin instantly in with their favor inside the first minute this time around out. Obviously, it's been another 30 seconds. The question is, can they again get rid of this player in vending hall? Actually, it doesn't look like there's actually going to be anyone inside there. I love this Aurora, but it does mean they now have to wait for it to open up if they want to go for the same exact plant. But they're able to overwhelm the long desk player, and now they're sitting in a man advantage, and they do open up. Foresight is able now to slowly get this plant going, but the flank here from Franklin, they had no idea it was going down, and then it's a nade TK! How is this happening? It's a double from Franklin from the flank, and now it's all left up to Vic Baz in this 1v2. Can he get it done, though?
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Frankie, you found your first 2 kills of the game. Mr. Champion of everything in T3. I mean, he was the one to win bank on that overtime in TPL XGS, and he's here to win it for his team in Blitz, as now he finds a double that completely relieves the pressure from the long desk area, and from there, his teammates can reel it back in. It's only a 2v2. 2v1, and from there, Card & Co throw away the lead yet again. We find ourselves in a 3-all split.
Another 3-all split. Somehow Core Gaming win that round out. It looked like a great advantage for Kaneko. I love the raw shot. I love them being able to then just funnel into long distance to just make sure they just over on that player. But the Franklin flank, able to just get it done, get that double kill onto his side. But also, I need to question it. How did he TK with a nade? I think he missed it. He tried to nade it over the little cubby hole, and then it goes down and just nade whoever's inside of the pro little cubby area. But instead, it probably bounced off, naded default plant, and the player who was trying to plant just couldn't get off in time, and then just completely got destroyed by the nade. Unfortunate for Kaneko, but that is a massive mistake that really cost them the round in the end. But they get to go on their own defensive side. We're going to see if maybe they can buck the trend and show that, yes, this map is supposed to be defender-sided, but they were very clinical on their early attacks. Core, they at least got the momentum, though. They won those 2 rounds in a row. Can they take those 2-round wins in a row to then continue a flurry of rounds on attack and show that they can close this out in 2? And it doesn't matter if Kaneko are more comfortable in this map, they are just the better team. We'll see it right now.
I mean, I feel like that nade TK was just taught directly from your ranked abilities. I mean, you were talking about how you were a Clash main. I'm only guessing you TK your teammates with frags, but that's besides the point. I mean, it's an interesting halftime because you find yourselves at the 3-all split, and Core managed to pull themselves right back into the game like they did on Clubhouse. But Karn is just as responsible for this as they're allowing it to happen. As long as they can show us why this is their map, they're going to have a beautiful time on the defensive, but the aggression sometimes is just not warranted. Spot peeking Spiff is definitely not allowed, and he will find his one, takes care of Vic Bands, and now we find ourselves with Kaneko down a body.
Down a body, but looking at the side of Core, it looks like they want to go for the rush we never saw from Kaneko. An opening pick as well. Luckily for the side of Khan, it's not one of those like massive operators you really need. Obviously, it'd be nice to have that body still alive, but it's not a player like Deity who has a C4 or Foresight who has smokes, or literally anyone else. It's the one operator that doesn't have utility in his pocket. He's placed his Goyos down. Yes, you've lost a gun, but you haven't lost a massive piece of utility. Spiff, though, is able to now get into the map very quickly, quicker than most of the time that Khan were able to. Throws the nade out, clears utility that's going to be on that glow door. Yes, the Goyo can sit down as well. Curious to see if he's just making a little bit of noise over on the side. Throw the sense gadget down, so then the attention gets drawn over onto the side, and then the go button starts going, and then he can then slowly get that plant down on the Amaro.
If that rush continues to go down on that B chassis window, it will prove to be a problem here for these defenders. Beautiful shot from Foresight, but you're still down a body. And the man who's supposed to play verticality with that C4 is across the map and has already used it. The man with the Shmika is now gone, and say goodbye to any utility that had a chance at standing care of that case, as it will go down successfully. I mean, with little to no protest, everybody on the side of Karn falls, and it will be Core to pull out ahead on this round. And this is the momentum we talk about. And it's always Core after the halftime to be able to establish it round in and round out, as they'll do that for the 2nd map in a row.
Spiff may have then died, but he did his job. Not only did he get the entry pick, but then he also was able to draw everyone away. He drew the smoke away, he drew the mute away. The only person that was in and around the site that really could have stopped it was Khan on the Tachanka. But the problem is, he was then fully flashed out by the Ying, repelled in on, and shot down. The plant then went down perfectly, able to then play in that post plant in a basic 4v2, get the frags out. It was beautiful from both Franklin, both Spiff, and obviously the planter himself as well, and it just worked out into the favor of Core Gaming. We're going to see if Kaneko, obviously they won't fall for the same thing twice. They cannot go for that bait, switch and play again, so it's all up to see if Core Gaming can come up with a new strategy to completely shut down what Kaneko's attack is looking like, and it's going to be the same exact lineup from Kaneko. Goyo again. Hopefully this time Vic Band doesn't go down early, so they then at least have that extra gun when the execute does come around from Core Gaming.
Attackers are heading out to the
There's still lots to do for either side, but that pressure is definitely eased up here for Core, considering they're on that series point and they have the lead. Now, the main idea on your opponent's map is to either maintain the lead or keep them on the ropes at all times, and that was something we saw last round. You found the first pick, you executed on every single play, and you did it correctly. Took care of business, you got rid of the utility as well, and you guys had little to no roadblocks when it came to entering the site and putting that diffuser down. All they have to do is maintain it, and they will be in an optimal spot. But again, trying to go for the same thing 2 times in a row may prove to be risky. But I retract my statement, as it looks to be a main admin take.
Yeah, it'll be funny if Deity is able to get the C4, the same C4 that Core Gaming was able to get so much success on in 2 different rounds. There's also going to be a player on this yellow side. Looks like he's going to throw a nade and maybe try to jump down onto this yellow side. Problem is, obviously, again, with those changes to obviously being able to drop down, Deity gets the open pick though onto Franklin on the other side of admin. And again, this admin push from both teams just seems to be stunted every single time they go for it. And another pick as well. Rival doesn't react. Deity with another, and with a third. Deity is cooking. C4 goes out. No, it misses. That would have been the 4th. That would have been one of the clips of the season. But Focal at least gets one back. And so far, it's looking like this complete admin side attack has been stunted, as the only one who's able to keep away unscathed was Focal. And the only reason he was able to just not really die there was because of a botched C4 from Deity. But right now, he is the hero again for Karnako. He showed up in map 1 with Bray, and he's doing it again on map 2.
I mean, come on. You continue to show us some interesting plays. We're not seeing anything from Core of any substance. I mean, letting Deity go nuclear is a problem. He managed to do it last map only once, but now it is definitely going to be a problem when the lead is this close. You have to be able to isolate, you have to be able to win, but luckily you managed to take care of Bray before you guys walked out of that situation with no picks in hand. You're still going to be down a body, 2 bodies actually, and you have just below a minute left, meaning it's all against you. The utility is against you, and what do you have to show us? You're here to get aggressive and your hands dirty.
Khan gets aggressive, takes down Inrio. Focal left alive against the onslaught. He gets one, but again, they have the bodies, they have the refrag potential, and it's instantly Deity again. He eventually does get his 4K, and he is the mastermind behind that round. It just felt like maybe Core Gaming just a little bit too far apart from each other. No refrags are being able to be established up against Deity. He's able to just float around, get all 3 picks, and now we're looking at, again, an even scoreline. These teams love to go blow for blows. We saw on Clubhouse how close it was, 7-5. We went all the way to max regulation rounds. Question mark is, are we going to see a similar situation on Consular? Are we going to see all regulation rounds? Looking at how we're going right now, it's seeming like we will. Going to see the basement site as the secondary site for Karnako. Looking at the lineup, I love the Valk. It allows him to get the information and maybe get those 3 C4s. DT obviously was playing it last round, was able to get the 4K on it, so it must have worked out. And the Capcan as well. It seemed like the drone walk was a little bit poor in core for that last round out. So if it seems to be again poor again, those Capcans could get a free pick on the side. And no surprise, Khan loved abusing the mirror in the last map, so they're going to do so again. And looking at core, default lineup, you have the Thermite for main breach, Hib for hatches, Dokube to clear out the roamers, Ram for the vertical, and IQ to find those Valkyrie cameras. So not a crazy lineup from core, so it looks like it's just going to be a default take from them.
Hopefully they're able to show us what they have in store for us, because it just isn't enough to be losing rounds like that. I mean, you're like one man to go nuclear, and on top of that, you just can't win your ones. Still, definitely a statement that needs to be made here from Core Gaming. But it was honestly expected that we would have seen a one-sided affair, especially on the defensive from Karn, considering this is their map. But anything is possible. Karn, managing to push it up at level here, the main idea should be to continue and stall at the time and prioritize their utility over gunfights. But knowing them, knowing the site, it is going to require a little bit of getting your hands dirty to see an ideal defensive. And right now, as it stands, we are approaching that 1 minute mark, and nothing too crazy has happened yet.
Yeah, the main layer they have to figure out first is going to be that full-on second floor area. There's 2 players running around, causing chaos on that second floor. Going to be Vicbans, going to be Deity, and they are going to be the players they need to be able to clear out. And they nearly get one. Yes, they do. Vicbans goes down and is finished off by Rival, but Deity is still in around that top floor. They need to be careful to just not miss drone, not just ignore this operator, and not ignore this player, because if they do, Deity can just stab them back. We saw how influential he can be on a roam last round out, and nearly he gets Focal just about. But then again, Spiff again doesn't whiff. DT misses a single bullet on the head and it's able to be taken out. And Bray is now going to be another person. Look how close he is. He doesn't know how close that player is on his drone. It could be a free pick for Bray if he wants it, or a free pick for the attackers, because either way. But no, luckily Bray moves away, so neither player is going to be taken down there. But again, they need to be careful of Bray, because if they don't drone him correctly, and it looks like the drone just about maybe missed him, so if they don't drone him correctly, he can rat somewhere, get a pick, or maybe just get the cap guns. They know he's there, so he hears him and drones away and makes sure that maybe Bray doesn't realize that he's been droned.
Very identical to what we saw on QOR's defensive when one man just ran upstairs, freaked absolutely everybody, and then just walked back down to the site. Now, a little bit different considering Bray was allowed to lurk throughout and in Visa and manages to take care of one before he'll fall, but again, he will fall, meaning we find ourselves at a two-man deficit here for Karn. Yet again, it's a problem they have to deal with. The question is how, because the verticality is being established and that breach will soon to be fallen as it will be opened, considering, again, the verticality is established, are able to shoot out the wires. Now, Carnage goes down due to the direct one from above as Spiff takes care of business, and now it's Foresight left all by himself to try and come out on top. It's baited out perfectly by Foco. The flash connects. It doesn't flash himself, but doesn't flash the defender as well, but it's enough to be able to lure him in and win that gunfight with his sidearm, as now Core Gaming are one shy away from the match point.
Yeah, great round in the end. I said they need to make sure they take down that top floor, and they spent their time. They waited like a minute just droning out, making sure they had everyone surrounded, making sure they had the cutoffs held, and as soon as they realized, hey, these are where the two players are, every single cutoff was already held, so they just couldn't move. They had the bathroom player waiting for the player to just move across, and exactly that's what happened. Then got taken out, and then Deity, he was stuck in a rock and a hard place. I think he could have at least ran down the Visa stairs. He missed his gunfight on the guy's spiral, and then again, he missed a single bullet onto the head of Spiff, and then instantly Spiff just headshot him right back. It's all about those minimal margins. Bray, he at least got one. It looked like maybe he was droned out, but his poor drone work from Core that time round out. But luckily, again, they had the players available to get that refrag, and again, they had the cutoffs held. Nearly a lost life to the Cat Cans. It looked like he took a little bit of damage, but then they had the utility. One hard breach going down, they had the thermite still available to open the hatch, open the main breach, and then with the bodies available, they were able to get the vertical as well with the Ram still alive, get one pick on the vertical, and then it was left up to the final player who just couldn't really do anything. He tried to get one pick, but now we're looking at the next defense. Top floor again. Carnage. Oh no, it's middle floor so again. So they won't be going for the basement for a second time round out. They are still rotating exactly what Core did. But the question mark is, Core had a great time on funneling out all these top floor players on the last time they had an extension, obviously with the basement extension. But this time it's a bigger extension with the Malusis. Obviously, no mirror surprisingly. The question mark is, can Khan hold on to the top floor? Because that's going to be the most important side they need to hold on to. Also, curious what the Amaro is going to be doing in play for the side of the defenders, or the side of the attackers.
Now, the site, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be the second floor, or actually, is it the first? I think it's the first floor piano. But again,
yeah, first floor piano.
Yeah, okay. So they don't have the Mira, which again, it's not banned, but again, you can succeed without it. But again, the main idea from Core is to always show that brute force when it comes to addressing verticality, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But as of now, it's been quite even. This has been much more leveled than Clubhouse was, and I mean that because this is Karn & Co.'s map. They've been showing us that. They've been making certain plays that show us this is their map, but they haven't had enough substance to finish out and win every single round. So as they look to address and hold this site, the question is, are they going to be willing to bear the full pressure of verticality control? Because you'll have the Amaru flying through admin, the Candelas are rushing in through the window next to catering, and you have the pressure raining on in from yellow as well. Didi finds first blood, but is traded out because Foresight will go down instead. Karn goes down to a very low amount of HP, but Bray is here to take care of Inrio as well, meaning we're finding ourselves in a good situation for Karn. Apparently not, as now Franklin takes care of Vic. Didi goes down as well. Bray trades out for Focal, and a triple kill from Focal on this Ying goes absolutely nuclear, making a fourth, as verticality is all these defenders will try to hold, and nothing will come out of it that is positive as Karn & Co. go to the match points again.
You said Epic had a clip with that Ying shotgun. He did. He had a clip. But now it's the other Core Gaming that's able to get that clip. And this time it's going to be... I've already forgotten. Franklin, right? Franklin got it. But wonderful from the Ying shotgun. That is why it's so prevalent. You can get in their face so quickly. Obviously, the final player was low. He probably wouldn't have been one-shot by any gun. But you get in their face quickly, shoot them down with the high speed and how quickly you can just tap that trigger and just make sure they just completely fall under your demise. It looked like, you're right, it looked like Hanako had the favor. They had the man count and it looked like Bray was going to go for that wraparound and kill the two players. But unfortunately for him, his teammates just couldn't hold on long enough for him to be able to get that flank down. The Ying shotgun was in their face, close quarters, taking them all down. And now we're looking at somehow Kaneko. They've let it slip again. They looked so comfortable in the early goings. They were just able to just steamroll them on their first 3 attacks. And I thought, okay, if they're able to do so well on attack, they can do it on defense. But again, apparently console is now attacker sided. I do not know what's happened. But every team just somehow just cannot defend it at the moment. They are crumbling at the scene. Question marks are going to be, can Core Gaming lock it out right now? Or will we see 4 match rounds to their regulations? But Deity, he's going for a nasty spawn pick with that Boss G.
Match point here for Core. They've shown us what they can do on any map, given any situation and circumstance. And I feel like this is literally CLB versus Core all over again. I'm literally just getting memories, a floodgate of them. And honestly, it's been repeating the same exact way. You have one team fighting so hard to try to take the rounds off of Core, but they just can't succeed. The teamwork from Core is just too heavily played out, and it's too heavily well dependent on each other, then they just can't find success. Franklin looks to find access into yellow here. Eats 2 goo mines. You will lose a good amount of HP here. But the Candelas on the other side create the chaos for him to be able to pull out that mine. As Inrio gains access, we'll take care of Karn, Franklin onto Vic, and now we find ourselves at level. Now, that's a problem because Focal is now knocking on the door of a 20-kill game. Focal, Spiff, you two have been absolutely nasty, especially on both maps. I mean, this series especially. I'm excited to see what you can bring to the next stage of the playoffs because it looks like you have Karn & Co. in a chokehold and they have absolutely no response for it. I mean, you guys have been knocking on their doors, round in and round out, and you haven't been able to find any form of leeway. Franklin takes damage, but he has enough health in pocket where he can take damage and not fall. As they continue to try to activate his shield break, they try to do something about this diffuser, but they just cannot. Bloodbath close on the shelf as now Diddy goes down. Bray still alive, but his teammate Foresight has now been taken care of in only 2 seconds to try to get your hands on that counter diffuse before, ladies and gentlemen, we say sayonara to Karn & Co. and welcome Core to First Core Academy in the semifinals.
That is going to be a very, very fun game for whoever gets to cast it. It is generally going to be flashbacks of Aerial Rise versus Aerial Rise Academy, but it looked like Hanako had that round in their favor. They got the first 2 opening picks, but then somehow instantly traded out by Kaneko, or not Kaneko, by Core, and then they were just able to then reset. They're like, okay, don't plant on this side. They're going to expect us to plant on this side. Let's plant water cooler. It's a safer position. And now we can then just make sure we have the post-plant situation. But again, it came down, I think, to the Ying. The Ying pushed into that water window. The other side not expecting it. He was able to take the backstab on 2 players that were blinded. And it was just a free round in the end for Core. Kaneko, you always look great in the start, but again, it always crumbles. If they were able to just keep the momentum for both maps, we could be seeing them in the semifinals instead.
I completely agree. 14 rounds to 9, and we were seeing so much mid-action changes that it was becoming a problem. Again, they just couldn't hit that nail on its head. There's so many things they need to address here, but again, they got to the playoffs, they fought their way here, and it was very well deserved. They took care of 5 fears. They were doing everything needed to try and advance, but still it wasn't enough. Or that was Core Cat. That was Core, actually. I apologize. But again, Karn & Co., you guys have a lot to do, but it was very, very well respected. That was a very nice, valiant effort that you guys tried to be able to send Core packing, but they are too strong. As a team that claims championships for fun and for breakfast, it is composed of absolute gunners throughout. But I'm sad to say, this is the end of the first series of the day. I'll be casting Core versus Core Academy. Milo, It's been absolutely beautiful to have you here, to have this replication of history as the Aerial Arise versus Aerial Arise Academy is going to repeat itself just with a different name brand. So I'm excited to see that. Hopefully you guys are as well. Make sure to take a break, grab a refresher. We'll be back after a short break to bring you the next series. Have a great night.
Kill finally to be clear there from Jox on the ram, and here comes the Amaro. It's gonna be met by Poison, but he gets the kill. All of a sudden it's a 3 versus 3. He just clipped it. He all shot immediately.
Acad, they already know where his position is. But they died.
Time as he can. Packer know they just have to sit still and force Cassia to make his move. There are only 50 seconds left for him to do it. And no matter where he goes, there is the potential for that pick. He's going to get picked on the beat off of the drum. He only has to get this pick on the Packer or get the bomb down. The Packer's going to be hiding in the rat spot, but Cassia wins it. He gets the prediction and ends up clutching out the round for his team as he secures the 2-1 quarter.
Trick it, but they will again have the kite.
Still has to wait out to get that frag, and she's possible to pay the price in due time. They're inside this train car goose. This is where the Alda could be very dangerous, but no feet visible. No head spotted around that corner. Hear any noise being made? Down with you! It is a 3-out-for-2! RNO sends Cincinnati to match in series point.
Talked about stealing data. That's exactly what Cincinnati is doing.
Passing to push him off the solar, but in doing that,
I don't know what he is anymore. They've lost complete track of him. Monty is going to spot him, however, but he's Oryx. He can just down the Monty, and now he's going to try to get away, but no! The glass overextends. Rival, you're so good! As now everything falls apart. Map in match point. Secured for Fluffy Aimers.
Might be playing towards default plant, and does he have the support? It looks like he does. Snake forcing Giddy. He's getting pushed down, pushed back, and he's gonna be traded out. Flurry of kills. It starts to slow down a little bit, but they just can't slow down. 5 seconds remaining. The plant going down. It's one remaining defender to keep themselves in this series. Packer getting the kill, but it's instantly traded out from Snake. And goodbye, Maker.
deal with them. They're gonna let you get the diffuser down, and he's gonna get out safely. Oh my days, it's a 2v1! A 1v1! Triple kill! Can it be the quad to win? All you gotta do is wait. The C4 is gonna come up from hell. It's a 1v0, and the Cade clutches it to end out the round. It was almost there for Rai. He just had to land the free fire, but the C4 forces him out the position. 4-1 to Fluffy Aimers. My bad. And we do head on to the next round. Doctor, this is a nightmare. This is a disaster.
Stop this ball from going down. It doesn't look like going to front. It's fully down from the attackers, but it's going to be a refrag at least. Hitman gets Fenzo before Alex Play gets Rival, and now he's trying to take down this Blitz. The Mike W gets one, gets two! Beautiful Blitz play, and gets a third! A triple kill from Mike W onto the shield, and now all this stuff is going to be caught up on the Legion, and he gets the 4K on the round. Wonderful shield play. Spirits would be proud.
Oh, that it could be the X factor here. And while the Goyo canisters start going, opening up the boiler wall is going to be the next step. Laundry wall not open. Looking for an execute. Players on hatches. Player trying to go through boilers. They could go for a plant on the wine wall. 3v3. And once again, one player standing up on top of the table, and the shot from behind goes down. The one at least themselves.
They know how important this. The 2v2. This is where you hold on to your cups, your coffees, your teas. It's a 1v1 situation. 14 seconds left on the clock. What a shot. Hectic left in that 1v1 situation. There's pings on him. All you have to do is...
These defenders
slowly being forced off their post, but with just a minute 30, Outlast Black still got to do some work. This is a deceptively small amount of time here on the border attack, and even less so when you give up 2 on the flank. There goes Snecky, doesn't even need the smokes. 2 to lay, and it's a triple.
Oh my
They just
god.
don't check the angle they just died from.
It's Toaster Den. That's a powerful player. While the scoreboard might not show it anymore, Toaster was top fragging and Toaster was doing it big. Now a big play has to come from Scoob, who spotted one top pro, wins that fight against Inrio, gets a double, might be looking for a triple, and he gets rival. Are you kidding me? There's 15 seconds left. Twist has to get the plant down. He has to get himself inside, making this effectively a 2 versus 1. Vandal has to defend up against both Scary and Scoob, but as that plant goes down, it seems like the dream is coming to an end. It has to be an ace and a clutch for Scoob. Just completely locked off by that air jab, not able to get it, but manages to scoot away. Potentially have an opening. It's vaulted now inside of Pro. Has one all the way back admin to deal with and one coffin as well. Not sure if he's going to be able to do this one. Has plenty of angles against him. There's so little he can do at this point. Gets air jab, naded, and finished off.
Pick as well. Although he ends up getting down, the diffuser has still gone down. Like JJ, or Kira rather, he's in a 1 versus 2 now. Even with diffuser down, 1 player on Overwatch, 1 on the counter diffuse! But he's able to get them both in 1 mag!
And now they're gonna drop down into Fireplace and hopefully go.
2 remaining for Cincinnati. Cheese Boss trapped all the way inside Gold Vault. Arno working from Garage, able to close out Nay on that approach, but you have 2 players on side of the Toxic Babe from Cheese Boss. What? Eviscerates 1, lowers the HP of Wimpy. They're at maybe 10 HP in total.
Are you kidding me?
Cheese Boss! What a round to come out from hiding within the gold bottle. They struck gold!
Flying towards default plant, and does he have the support? It looks like he does. Snake forcing Giddy. He's getting pushed down, pushed back, and he's going to be traded out. Flurry of kills. It starts to slow down a little bit, but they just can't slow down. 5 seconds remaining. The plant going down. It's 1 remaining defender to keep themselves in this series. Packer getting the kill, but it's instantly traded out from Snake. And goodbye, Makers. And Ariel, welcome to the Grand Final.
Is the second player. The second player of Amazing has already wrapped back into Church as well, but he's gone from the other side. Wrapped and found Amazing. He knows that the second is playing behind this half wall, but he doesn't realize that now he's close on bomb. Perseus, we said, is very low HP, but now he realizes, oh, Last is in Church. I have Case. All I need to do is put it down to the ground, and I have 25 seconds left at this point to do just that. Rotate out of Perseus, goes through the rotate, but he's
2 players remaining for Phantom Legion. They've got Alliance Scan. They're freezing them in place. Here comes up a good swing. He still has some pressure over to the side of the map. He's gonna might be able to cause some damage. There's 1. He's gonna swing. He's feeling the heat. And now the sides are kind of switched. Epic now controls the outer area. And the offense is now inside. He's just gonna completely go back into their spawn. What's going on?
That's gonna be a 3v3. Beautifully done. 40 seconds, and hold on. 86 Pistols at a disadvantage for nearly the entire round. Are gonna now push themselves in a man advantage. Not only that, but Ash is gonna be TPNO. There's not gonna be a done to be able to res him. However, don't count J-Hitman out just yet. Making it a 1v1 of don't make it an ace. The C4 narrowly misses J-Pistol. Put in a situation where he's probably got his heart in check. J-Hitman with the ace.
Should get the kill.
Oh, the
3v3
timing!
3v2 post plant. They have Diffuser down, but they need the kills. Bryonyx now is upstairs alone. Nobody is on the second floor. Bryonyx can watch it from above, but he drops down. Logger dies. Bryonyx now in a 1v1.
No way.
Getter inside of Taylor's shotgun. It's going to be preferable here for Bryonyx. He needs to get this kill on the castle. Looking the wrong way. They're both so close together, both on full health. Let's get her around the side. Bryonyx now holding behind the shower stall. They are
This is
just running in
insane.
circles. He has to get on this diffuser. Bryonyx needs to kill. He'll get it. Invictus comes.
Range is between 0% and 5%. Blacking up sectors. What's going on here? Now,
Player down, but they do manage to at least find 1 on the Lunar. Sucks is gonna be Toaster. Got 1, he finds 2. He could make this happen. 1 of them is down. Both are down. Actually, if you look so down, they can just find the Toaster. What happens?
Hitting bullets are something that can really easily force them out of this position, and he's going to leave at the first sign of danger, not even getting to the asphyxiating bullets himself yet, which now can be used instead to cinch down on the objective. objective and close the site off. Goal good for 2 now as he finds a crossfire on the head of Rival, and the Clash is still coming strong as well. The asphyxiating bolt goes out, but it's gonna have no impact. This goal is good for 4. He wants the binge. He's gonna go down instead of his teammate should have his back. Goal with the lightest touch on this round. It should be easy for them.
Yeah, you said he had the Midas touch. Yeah, I think, my God, the players, the man count's been reversed. 15 seconds left is all that we have, and it's all left up to Twist. He got 2, he almost gets the 3rd. Oh, he has to get one more gunfight, and he's gonna get it. Twist with the 1 versus 3, denying that point to Lucky Aimer.
And Zonky's the one to win 1 with 2. And are we gonna see a flawless round? No. JJ's there to avoid.
Once the clock is here, and all he has to do is shut down the flame. It's going to be Jet going for it. Bill is going to be down. Poison finds one. He finds the second one. Poison can do this. This is possible. The damage.
What?
Smoke kills Fens. But he has to stick to plan. All of a sudden, Poison can just walk over and shoot him. What a clutch.
Dami immediately get back up, so it's a 1 versus 2. Dami trying to hunt the bomb down with the time that he has. Poison the only one on the 2nd floor, potentially able to give him the 1v1 that he needs so desperately, and he finds it. We find ourselves in 1 versus 1. One top for the smoke of Aerial Arise, but the time is not in his favor. A couple claymores. Dami with the verticality finds some feet, but isn't able to find the kill just yet. That you need to be wondering, where are you going to go? You have so little time. The low HPs and Dami secures it with 8k.
Those are long-range engagements that are going to have to come out. If he's going to swing forward first. Has an idea that there's a player here, but he's not ready for the swing by Geek, and now it's all left up to the Jackal in a 1v3 whose hopes and dreams are literally being blown away, but maybe not just yet. Despite the fact that Z-Man was on 1 HP, he finds 2 monstrous frags, and now it's all left up to Shrady. With 10 seconds to go, Z-Man is going to have to attempt this plant or get aggressive. It looks as though he's going to choose the aggression. He might have waited too long, as now on 0 seconds left, he's going to have to commit to this plant. Is he going to be able to pop up in time? He is, but Shrady has the intel and Shrady has the diffuser. And like his Empire have booked their ticket to the Blitz
Control, he can just walk up behind any of them. Getting us the first pick and the second pick that he needs to reverse the man count. And now, both teams, they sit in the advantage. They sit in the majority. And Didi and Emilio, they have to go for this big rotate because the wall's not open. C4 sits in the hands of Rival. They try to pick him up from the control room. They're going to try to isolate him now, but now low HP comes back to bite Didi. As Rival almost single-handedly Superman this round has to try to commit to something here. But no matter where he goes, there's no real good option here for any sort of gunfight. He gets rid of 1 cable barrier, but that's just wasting time, and QOR are more than willing to let him waste it, as he's just maneuvering around trying to find any little gap that he can to get the first one he needs.
Pilot has a death defense, the player now dead, and a flank down the white stairs catches Enrio. Poison does well to find 1 kill, but he's now in a 1v4 against 4 others. He does well to isolate his second though. What are they doing? They've lost the fuser in the middle of phase 3, and they have no idea equipment. They have no more eye-track scanners, and Aerial Risers have all the information working for them. A nice shot from Poison, and a team kill from Medscape wins the round and the game for Aerial Rise. How did they let that happen?
Awesome chaos from above. Look at it. The wood floor is just getting carved open right now. Come out, wherever you are, says Enrio and Snake. Poison's just kind of watching, and he might be able to snap in there. It's now 3v3. Deity drops. And look at the timer, folks. 20 seconds remain, so they're going to have to also get in towards site if they can't find these kills. Whoa, hop in through the window, and you're going to get shut down, Poison. See you later, Alligator. JJ, the captain. It's 5-1. It's halftime. And JJ, the man of the hour.
Slight damage, or they do some slight pressure, but to Unstoppable, who's still completely full HP, but now you've given up where your full of your execute is coming from, and Hush have repositioned just to meet you there.
Here comes Solaris swings, puts some damage down, level down to 17 HP. The big window's hot. He just walked up through and says, hey, how you doing? I live here, by the way. There comes the skeleton key. It's now in 1v2. Phantom Legion say not just yet. Rival with 2 kills. And now it's down to Snake. Can he show the moves with the charge? He's got to make a lot happen here. He's got to fit the fusion as well. He's kind of holding it now. He's trying to make this play inside kitchen. Does so successfully. There's still two players you got to watch out for. You got one above, you got one to the circuit. I think he's actually aware of what's happening here. 24 seconds down from Snake. Swings it. That's one. It's now 1v1. Snake versus Rival. 14 HP. The defuse begin. He's a good sent to. Yes, he does. Here comes in Chow. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go.
The hollow gives you a bigger advantage, and it gives him the advantage in the back. We're getting a little top pick, and we might see Thermite go down to a lead, but he does get finished off.
As Twist is also just trying to get what little over he can done with that DMR. One player's down, but two fall to a C4. Yes, now we see Twist left all alone in a 1 versus 2 effectively, a 1 versus 3 if they can get Kiru up. And now, any and all gaps you could have to get into the site are, well, they're going to be difficult. JJ.
But it's starting to dwindle. Sentier finds one onto Slime. That's a big pick to even things out. Can they even pick up diffusers safely? They don't know. It's in the way of the breach, and that's going to make things difficult. They have a ping on this Azami, though. He just needs to find the right pick, but that's such a thin angle. Azami's going to drop off and rotate away, and that's a good move. That's a quad for Duke. Finding one to Sentier. The Ying's going to go out, but it doesn't matter because Duke swings the other direction, finds Rival, and picks up the ace on the round.
To directly duel this player inside of Control Hall. But he's gonna try to make it difficult to predict his positioning. He's gonna get that pick on to Kiru, as now it's a 1 versus 2 for JJ inside of the bomb site. Gonna try to make it a 1 versus 1 as soon as he can. He's gonna do it. Well, there's the kill Moses! And he's gonna get the map with a 1 versus 2 clutch. Redline as well. Fighting his demons. You know, gets that pick. Diffuser is strong. Amazing frag. 10 seconds left. Next carry. Flying out. Can he get another one as well? All of them to Inreal. He finds one. He's trying to go for this last pick. He's got to find him, and he does it! Inreal with the clutch!
Decent spot. They do some damage to Shrady as well. They know about the player that's still inside of security. Seems as though they do, and they're not going to take the fight with him. Space finds the kill. Space finds 2. Third kill for Space. Make it a 4th. Space closes out Border 7-4, and like his Empire, put themselves 1 map away from the
Full flash though. Chance for more. Goes again, and they still get that kill. Shrady, what? May not matter though. Connection from Shocks. Playing from Pantry, 2 now to their name, to TSW. The run up from the other side. No way they get a 3rd from there. But Swifted just has to wait. Not sure what to angle this. Headshot's good. Just have to hide. 18 seconds. Swifted calling GG. Knows they have this control, but oh, the slightest angle could be there for Space. The run out. They know they can't go further. Oh, no chance for it.
Win this round. Now we're going to see Twist make his way up the long haul, and he's gonna get the first pick he needs off of it. He's gonna get 2. If he can get a 3rd here, that's massive. And he almost tells us all of them to Emilio, but no, he can't do it. QOR deny the back-to-back championship, deny JJ another trophy, and win Blitz Season 2, 3-2.
And now it's all down to Dead. Dead, in a 1v2, 30 seconds on the clock. Can't come Legion do have the time to work with. They have to get the diffuser down or hunt down this last player remaining. The drone mark is coming through. They now know his position. Here comes the collapse of Phantom Legion. They're going to make this work happen. Oh, and a great pick there to Rival. That was the start player's shutdown. Dead has full HP, but Lena only has 16. And the free fire comes through, and Hush clutch it up. It's a collapse for Phantom Legion, but you still have to keep in mind, this is...
Mine will be stepped in there for Shocks, just trying to be assistant there towards Swifted. Minute has been burned though, and no one's been dusted, but man, oh man, Shrey's getting close. They're walking into the loving lines aside of everybody, and there it is, but you're trying to get in if you're Space. The timing's just not right. You win both! 3! Space! Knocking and humbling every one of the
entry in for Team Brick. What a monstrous!
He lands 2. It's a 5v1. What is up with these guys in
4-5 Kira bring things back to a 1 versus 2 with that Boss G. It's gonna be very dangerous, especially with that shot on the Kiru. It's all left up to Emilio in this 1 versus 1. He has the angle, but he's the better shot. Emilio closing things out, denying the clutch.
No, in no way we're contesting from mid-red. Finding a second kill. Finally gonna be clear there from Josh on the ram, and here comes the Amaro. It's gonna be met by Poison, but he gets the kill. All of a sudden it's a 3 versus 3. He just clipped it. So immediately, I mean, I've had it.
They already know where his position is. Let the die.
No, they just have to sit still and force Cassia to make this move. There are only 50 seconds left for him to do it. And no matter where he goes, there is the potential for that pick. He's going to get the pick on the beat off of the drop. He only has to get this pick on the Packer. Got the bomb down. Packer's going to be hiding the last ball, but Cassia wins it. He forgets the prediction and ends up punching out the round for his team as he secures the 2-1 quarter.
That cricket, but they will again have the fight.
Still has to wait out to get that frag, and Cheesebox will pay the price in due time. They're inside this train car, Goose. The Alda could be very dangerous, but no feet visible. No one is spotted around that corner. Is there any noise being made? Down with you! And it's a 3-out for 2! Orono sends Cincinnati to match in series point.
Talked about skewing data. That's exactly what Cincinnati is doing.
Castle to push him off of Solar, but in doing that,
I don't know where he is anymore. They've lost complete track of him. Monty is going to spot him, but he's Oryx. He can just down the Monty. And now he's going to try to get away, but no! The glass overextends. Rival, you're so good! As now everything falls apart. Map in match point. Secured for Fluffy Aimers.
Might be playing towards default plant, and does he have the support? It looks like he does. Snake forcing Giddy. He's getting pushed down, pushed back, and he's going to be traded out. Flurry of kills. It starts to slow down a little bit, but they just can't slow down. 5 seconds remaining. The plan going down. It's one remaining defender to keep themselves in this series. Packer getting the kill, but it's instantly traded out from Snake. And goodbye, Maker.
deal with them. They're gonna let you get the diffuser down, and he's gonna get out safely. Oh my days, it's a 2v1! A 1v1! Triple kill, can't be the quad to win. All you gotta do is wait, the C4 is gonna come up from hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a little bit of a prolonged break, we apologize. It's still sunny where you are? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. The perks of living on the West Coast, I guess. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have history repeating itself under a different name. It's QOR versus QOR Academy here tonight. And I mean, I only have one thing to say. What are your predictions for this game? Because I know I am damn excited to see how it will go.
Oh, I'm so excited. I mean, I will say little brother versus big brother is about to happen. QOR Academy trying to show up, you know, maybe get a spot on that main roster here. Definitely exciting, but, you know, QOR Academy looking pretty dominant so far, especially with how the bracket has been playing out. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes.
100% here. I mean, taking a look at our bracket, I mean, we just finished our first game of the night, which was a 2-0 in the favor of QOR. They took care of Card and Go. They sent them home. And QOR Academy had to beat 5 Fears in the third map to be able to push themselves to the semifinals. And whoever wins this game is on throughout to the grand final. Now, I mean, whoever wins between Space Shubes and Turtle Tactics, which game is already finished, but whoever wins between Hakiki Mori and Cincy is going to be an absolute cinematic experience to show us who will advance on to that grand final. So I'm definitely hyped to see how the rest of BLITZ will go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Space Shube's definitely one of my favorite teams. It'll be interesting to see which core team, you know, plays out here. I would, you know, hoping for maybe a little bit of shenanigans coming out of Gold Coast Clash, seeing both Utah teams play against each other. But like you said, Hikikimori versus Cincinnati still needs to happen, and that will definitely be exciting. Looks like we've got some great seeds for the rest of this tournament.
100%. I mean, Wow, I am definitely excited, but let us move on here. Taking a look here at our first team of the day, you will have the underagers, formerly known as. You'll have Adept lining up with Epic, Soapy, Lecky, and Kaysen. The main point for this team is they are all, or most of them are underage. And that has been something we are talking about, how it's been holding them back from qualifying or playing in T2 due to the age limit. So these players know what they're doing. They're exact when it comes to their plays, and I feel like their age is honestly the biggest thing that's been holding them back here. Taking a look at the other side of the coin here, QOR, the main roster, the T3 champions, they've just won the finale. You'll have Foco lining up alongside with Franklin, Rival, Spiff, and Inrio, the team that took care of the finale against CLB, and they've just come off a win where they took care of Card & Co. Can they win 2 in a night and call it a day and push themselves on to the grand final?
Yeah, we'll see what will happen here between Core Academy and Core. Like you said, Core winning the TPS XGL final. And so we'll see what the map bans are, what these teams have decided to pick here. Looks like Layer, Skyscraper, Consulate, and Bank are first ones out. Looks like Border and Chalet will be our first 2 picked maps. Looks like Border is what we will start off on. And it looks like Bank will be the deciding map as both teams ban Nighthaven? Not sure if that's a graphics error or not. It appears that it is, but that last map will be Cafe instead of Bank. So it'll be Border, Chalet, Cafe. Definitely will be interesting to see what both teams will do here. Border and Chalet, definitely, you know, pretty normal maps. Cafe for a decider will definitely be interesting should we go to a map 3, but we'll see what happens as we start to go underway.
Now, something I was going to expect to see was a pick from Consulate by Core Academy. I mean, it's one of their most played maps with the best results. The worst we've seen from them is when they got 7-1'd by Card & Co. a while back in the earlier stages of the finale. Now, this means there's a lot to prove here. The fact is, you've now lost Consulate. I also thought that we were going to see Clubhouse as one of our picked maps, and that's also going to be taken care of. So a lot of familiar ground here for both teams across these 3 maps. Chalet is going to be the obvious outlier in terms of experience, as it is the map that hasn't been played oh so often by either side. I think the last time we saw Chalet being played by Core Academy was in the earlier stages of the qualifiers, in the finale where Space Shubes v Core Academy, and I think it was Core Academy to win. And in the last month or so, we haven't seen too much play from Core, especially when it comes down to Chalet. So again, there's going to be lots of plays that are going to need to be seen on this first map, because that second one is definitely going to become a problem, and I think that's exactly why Core Academy picked it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, having that map that not a lot of people play, and not a lot of teams like going to Consulate, so definitely a little interesting, like you said. I mean, I casted the Core Academy Space Shubes game. I mean, it was neck and neck, but Core Academy ultimately able to pull it out there. Definitely a little bit interesting to go to Border, but we will see what happens here. Looks like a lot of Core Academy going to set up in this Armory Lockers setup here. Looks like Goyo, Legion, Valkyrie, Aruni, and Lucy will be their defensive setup. A lot of stalling utility here. Surprised that Valkyrie wasn't banned. It looks like it will be Ace and Blackbeard. Looks like the members of Core have decided to go with Azami and Smoke. Looks like we have about 10 seconds left here, but yeah. Looks like Core Academy trying to get as much stall as possible. Looking like Epic might get a little bit cheeky here, go for maybe a spawn peek or something. Looks like we will get underway. Epic starting to go out, place some barbed wire. Looks like the members of Core will be on Nomad, Ash, Blitz, Brava, and Buck. Not too surprising for a map like Border. Definitely nice to have that shield to be able to take that long hallway. Try and get rid of anyone maybe hanging around that 90-degree angle corner. So we will see what happens. Looks like Focal going to try and break down the door. Looks like Soapy getting into the first engagement of the round, but not able to find anything just quite yet.
As it stands, I mean, Epic from playing in the NAL to just, you know, playing in Blitz, you know, so common with that jump. Everybody does it, right? But we're just approaching that 45-second mark, and they have the spearhead of the attack paired up between the Ash and the Blitz. Rival possesses that chase, so it means it's going to have to be a little bit more careful when it comes to attacking the building. So Focal should be the man who is willing to be on the front lines. Now, Core starting on the attacking is definitely going to be a little bit more difficult for them to be able to keep their rounds up. This is their map pick, but they are not going to have the sides pick. Meaning, if Core Academy can starve out as many rounds as possible, a one-sided half can definitely set up the Academy to take map 1 with grace and ease, but that's not how it's looking so far. The depth is going to go down, Not Out is given a second chance at life, but who is going to go to break room to try to get him?
Looks like not much. It looks like Rival will find a kill with a Claymore. Franklin finding a kill on a Wilecki there. Adept still down, meaning that this is now a 2v5. Epic and Kaysen, the only ones left. Looks like Epic's going to start making some moves here. It looks like Spiff is going to catch him out. Looks like Kaysen's going to find one on a Focal. Looks like Kaysen the only one left as Adept bleeds out here.
Beautiful, as now Core has just burst into action. They're looking alive. The gunfight's won. Franklin goes down, but he's taken out 2 before he's done. So there is intel on the man that sits in the depths of archives. Oh my God, Kaysen! The black goes down, but Rival's stuck! A quad kill from Kaysen! What a way to set the pace for the first round of the first map of this series! What a defuse! Kaysen, pat on the back! What a shot that was!
What a kill onto that Ash there. I mean, just flicks on flicks there coming from the Goyo. That Vector looking super, super deadly in his hands. Absolutely amazing play there by Kaysen. Oh my gosh, we're already starting off. And oh, it's gonna be a thrill ride from here.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm practically jumping right now. Kaysen! Where did that come from? From the console king to the underaged PC king. Where did that come from? He just deleted 4 or 3 players, but it was 4 in total. He deleted 3 players in a matter of 10 seconds and nonchalantly waltzed over to the diffuser and counter diffused it. And if that's not a way to say we are the Academy, but it's just because of our age, I don't know what is.
I don't know either. I mean, Kaysen made it look easy there. I mean, especially at this level, you know, I have people that play this game like, oh, it's not that crazy. No, I mean, these people will see just a pixel of a head and take your head off. You will not know what hit you. And so Kaysen to be able to pull that off and nonchalantly, like you said, walk over to that diffuser and diffuse, definitely a great start of momentum for Core Academy here. It looks like maybe a spawn peek trying to get the pick onto Franklin here, but nothing will happen just quite yet. Looks like the Fenrir, Mira, Goyo, Valkyrie, Legion setup will be our picks here. It looks like Core themselves going with Hibana, Ash, IQ, Twitch, and Nomad. Little bit interesting, don't know exactly what the plan here is. Maybe try to get the IQ to sniff out some of those Fenrir mines, the Twitch to get rid of the Goyo, and the Valkyrie cameras. Looks like Focal will be finding most of those cameras with his electro sensor here with his RED. Looks like the rest of Core Academy not really doing a whole lot. Trying to, I guess, just hold and take space. It looks like Kaysen gonna find the opening pick on a Spiff here. He's already hot and deadly. Looks like Rival will be able to trade out, though, finding a pick on a Soapy as we get underway.
A little bit of unlucky fortune here for Core Academy because that Valkyrie was the first to fall twice now. But Franklin makes matters worse by taking care of Mr. Epic himself. And now, I want to mention something. Core Academy, yes, they only have a one-man record on Border. But Core themselves played this in their final in the finale. And the way that went was the team they played against, which was COB, they built up the pace. They grabbed 2 to 3 rounds in the earlier stages, and from there, when those halves switched, they couldn't progress. They lost that game 7-4, and it was Core who won it 7-4 due to the ability to sit back, reset, and relax, and reel it back in. And right now, Core Academy just need to make sure they're feeling uncomfortable at every single moment of this round. As it stands, a kill for Kaysen. His second will take care of Franklin and Spiff as we find ourselves on a 2v3 situation. And yet again, we're going to find the Console Kings verse it off yet again. Franklin v Kaysen, it's a story for the ages, as now it's only a 2v3 with just below a minute left.
Yeah, it looks like Core Academy trying to play. Looks like the Nitro Cell coming out.
Boom.
Adept will find one on a Focal there. Good play by Adept, even up the odds. Looks like Core doesn't have much time left, looking to see if they can maybe find something onto Adept or Kaysen, but they are not moving. Looks like Rival's going to have to force a rotate. Looks like Adept will find one onto Inrio. Looks like they already have the information that Rival is in that main foyer lobby there. It looks like the Mira and the Legion not going to peek, just let Rival take his time, try and catch him when he's not looking. Doesn't have the diffuser with 10 seconds left to go. Does not look great for Core here at all. Looks like Kaysen gonna get swung, but it looks like Adept will be able to trade him out. Core Academy taking the round.
Beautiful. I mean, what a way to swing off the refrag in the intel. You knew exactly where your teammate was, and you played off of the intel that was provided off of that refrag. 2-0. As now Core Academy, they're starting to build up that pace, but now we need to talk about how they're going to maintain it. If Core Academy find one round before this lead is built up, they will get dismantled round in and round out. It is all about Core Academy keeping this other team on their toes, and the way of doing that is switching up the plays, getting aggressive when it's not warranted, and sometimes even just running this clock out. And it right now looks like they are doing a beautiful job.
Yeah, Core Academy definitely looking strong here. I mean, you know, defense is where you start to gain a lot of momentum, so hopefully Core Academy can keep it up on the defense and bring it into the attack here. Looks like they're going to be setting up on this lockers site. Pretty usual when you're in that workshop area. Verticality is definitely a thing on this border map. I know Cafe is definitely one. I think, what's the other map we're playing? It's, forget. Do you remember, Sino, what the other map is?
What are we talking about? In terms of the map picks?
We got, yeah.
Oh, we have Porter, and it's Chalet and Clubhouse is our third and final.
Yeah, we picked all vertical maps, huh? They picked all verticality maps. It looks like the Buck from Rival coming out here. We're going to try and see, I think Core's going to try and see if they can get up above that workshop and just rain down on Core Academy. But Core Academy not going to let that happen easily with the Bandit, the Malusi, the Legion, the Valkyrie. Definitely a lot of operators that excel at holding those up top locations.
I mean, just 40 seconds in, and Solace being brought is going to be ideal to denying that utility, but she's honestly one of those outlier operators. It's usually beautiful when operators can deny or be that deciding factor in a round, but it's all about how you use either that deciding factor, or in this case the Solace, properly. If Epic goes down first, then he'll find himself in a little bit of a troublesome spot. But again, it's all about how these guys address this pressure. You have Valk teamed up with Solus, and it's all about slowing it down, taking your sweet old time, and just taking it slow. But the plant looks to go successfully down. You have the Valkyrie and the Solus, and somewhat you guys don't know, the plant is down. 40 seconds on a 10-man count. The question is, can Core Academy get aggressive in time? Kaysen finds first blood. What's new, Scooby-Doo? But Adept gets traded out instantly. Soapy to find Spiff on the refrag, and now they look to make the reinforcements possible. Lecky capitalizing. 4v2, and it's become 10 times more realistic to come back from this. You just have to take care of the man who's wedged himself in between the bathroom and the case, but Franklin with the spray, and it connects. That 80-round LMG you can make use of. Franklin for triple, as now these have been the most packed rounds at the beginning of a series ever, as now Epic just needs to look to counter defuse. He only has a couple of seconds, but why would you cancel it? You were protected by the workbench. But Franklin for 4 as well, and now Core finds a response.
Core looking absolutely great there. You're right, the Valkyrie, the Solus, experts at sniffing out where the diffuser is down, and nobody knew where it was. Core able to get away with it. Although Core Academy started off strong, like you said, what's new, Scooby-Doo, Kaysen finding that first pick, a whole lot of trades. Ultimately, Core able to take it out. It looks like Ying and Valkyrie will be the next bans here. for both teams. Looks like Armory Lockers will be the next site for Core Academy. We're still yet to pick majority of their operators. Looks like Wilecki and Adept still strategizing just a little bit. But yeah, exactly like you said. I mean, using that utility is definitely something that needs to happen. A little bit embarrassing for Core Academy there. I mean, like you said, they had the ability to sniff out those where the diffuser was, what util was being placed, and they just didn't. Almost able to take it back, but just not enough to be able to squeeze it out.
What a game this has been so far. We're only 3 rounds in, and we have seen 2 crazy solo factor plays. Yes, this is a team-based game, but when you have the first round of the first map going in the favor of Kaysen because he gets a quad kill, it's gonna be insane. It's going to be crazy. And these solo factors don't only warrant in the favor of Core Academy, as Franklin, the other console player, manages to find 4 kills last round to single-handedly deny that counter defuse. From wall banging to thinking on the spot, on his feet, to instead use his can openers, he will shoot a wall in the hole right next to it on the soft. I mean, there's so many different areas of resilience here, and both sides really are looking to keep that differential closed down as long as possible.
Yeah, it looks like Core Academy playing somewhat bundled up, knowing that Core has breached that main little security outside wall there. It looks like Inrio placing down his air jabs, trying to see if anyone on Core Academy will be looking for a run out. Does not look possible, though. A lot of Core Academy playing on the other side of the map right now. Looks like the rest of Core Academy trying to get something set up. No hard breach opportunity here. It looks like Kaysen will find one. Wilecki finding another. Spiff finding a quick trade, though. Rival finding another. Rival
God.
finding 2. Spiff finding another 1v3 for Adepts here.
I mean, you can only rely on one player so much, especially in the earlier stages of a map. C4 toss from Hell will connect, Adept onto Spiff, and now that plant will go down successfully. But it's not a 10-man count, meaning this is very doable. If you can isolate the ones, the main idea is to make sure these attackers aren't at full manpower when it comes to trying to get a counter defuse off. The wall is soft on the Canadian Mira, but that fire extinguisher will buy you the time to try to get closer here. You know you don't have the time. You've now become the attacker, basically. And the question is, what are you going to do to try to bait out these players? Rival sits in the depths of security right on that jailbrick wall. And now Inrio's upside down, looking to make matters happen for his own team. Right now, it will be the Ash that sits close to try to find it. But again, you canceled it too late. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you cancel, the time's gonna run out on you. If you go out swinging, it doesn't matter, you're going to fall. That'll be the response from Core, and I told you, Dosai, whenever you allow them to find their footing, you're going to see the full brunt force of their attacks.
Yeah, I mean, I think Core kind of realized, you know, getting that diffuser down, obviously it's the objective, but I think it makes Core Academy play a lot less safe and a lot more reckless, and Core is able to, you know, capitalize on those mistakes a lot more. Looks like Core Academy going right back to that Armory Lockers setup. Looks like trying to just hold down, figure out what went wrong. Looks like the Warden and the Fenrir will be the major change-ups, getting rid of that Mira. Definitely maybe a step in the right direction. I mean, Aruni able to block those doors. Fenrir able to make the attackers take a little bit more time. Goyo as well, definitely good for making those attackers wait a full 20 seconds before they can do anything. Definitely a good look, at least utility-wise for Core Academy, but it's how they use it and how Core deals with it that is what will really matter as the round gets underway here. Looks like the rest of Core bringing in a Deimos, definitely a little bit interesting. We've not seen a lot of roaming play from Core Academy here. Definitely interesting to see what Spiff will do with it. Looks like Focal coming in on the Montang with the diffuser, maybe trying to get a little bit of a turtle plant here. We'll see what happens as we start the round with 2 minutes 30 to go.
Now, Monty paired up with the Deimos. This is ideal for clearing out the players you don't want to reside in those ratty rooms. That site is upstairs. And yes, the action-packed rounds are always so beautiful, but these attackers, these defenders need to calm it down. They need to be able to use their utility and structure together some solid attacks to be able to get that lead for the first time in the series. They managed to put themselves up at level just 2 rounds before the attacking switch. Now, The question is, are they up for the task to be able to go up ahead? Because the best case scenario, they're walking out of this with a 4-2. But again, it's all about how they address it, how they play as a team, and how they put their next foot forward to be able to advance. And right now, it looks like switching up the attacking roster to bring a Deimos and a Monty is going to be step one.
Yep, definitely looks like Focal trying to just slowly move and clear these defenders out. It looks like Focal will bash the barbed wire, but it looks like Kaysen right there to be able to contest, setting off the gas main to try and buy himself a little bit more time, as it looks like the Deimos will be used to execute. Rival finding a pick onto Soapy there. Not exactly what Core had in mind for finding their picks, but a pick nonetheless, and it will be good for them as they start to move in slowly with a minute 15 left to go.
They are starting to show us why they are that main roster team. Finding first blood. Soapy hasn't been able to find any space to capitalize off of. Epic as well. I mean, you just have Kaysen floating and Adept slowly trailing behind, but it's still a large margin between 8-3 and 4-3. Now, you're only down one body. Make that none, as Epic, with the quick realization there's a man below him, I mean, takes the hard way out. I don't even think he fully knew that there's a man sitting in customs, but he will have the better result. Instead of falling, we'll take care of Spiff and taking care of that Deimos as well. We find ourselves up at level. But every time I say that, it looks like the caster's curse is hit, as now Kaysen, the king himself, will fall, and we find ourselves at a 7-man count.
Looks like Inrio pushing in. Franklin finding another one onto Epic here. 2 versus 4 with only 25 seconds left to go. Looks like Core starting to push up. It looks like Wylecki having to deal with Focal's Montang here. Trying to get a pick onto Rival. He will find it. Looks like Inrio will find one onto Adept. But it looks like Wylecki playing around that offense will be found out by Franklin. Like you said, beautiful play by Core there to get rid of those remaining defenders.
I mean, come on. 1v3, 2 rounds in a row. The plank going down the round before that. That's the problem. Even if it's a 10-man count, an 8-man count, I don't care. You need to be able to show us why you're here. Yes, you are the Academy team. There's a lot of people betting against you guys, but still, you have taken care of 5 Fears, and they might not be as practiced as Core, but they have some Core players. See what I did there? They have some Core players that have experience in the T1 scene. You have to be able to show us where that competition is. You're on the away turf. You're not on your own map, but this is the perfect time to take as many rounds from Core and make them sweat right here and right now.
Yeah, the even split definitely would be good for Core Academy here, taking 3 rounds. Not ideal for a defense, but definitely not bad. We'll see what happens as the round gets underway. Looks like a pulse coming out now. Maybe looking like Core Academy trying to go Nitro Cell fishing, as there are a lot of Nitro Cells active. Only explosives in terms of secondary utility for Core Academy here. A lot of Nitro Cells. Hopefully able to deal with that blitz and maybe try and get rid of the Hibana hanging around upstairs. Maybe try and get rid of, I know Spiff on that Dokubi probably playing upstairs as well, but we'll see what happens. Looks like Core trying to play a little bit of 2 and 2. Looks like 2 people on the ground floor, 2 people on the upper floor here. Looks like Core will start by just slowly droning out, seeing what they can find. Inrio's switch drone will get sniffed out, but not before Adept can shoot it. Looks like Adept will be left empty there. Looks like Inrio trying to maybe find a little bit more utility. Play a little bit more calmly and wait and see. Looks like Spiff and Epic will be trading shots. Looks like Soapy and Focal will be finding picks. And we get under with 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go here. Epic trying to find something. Kaysen finding one on a rival. It's starting to get interesting.
Franklin takes care of Soapy, and these players are going at it so early. Franklin for his double, just with that bearing 9 in hand. And even to top it all off, he's going to look to put that plant down as well in the depths of Bathroom. And not a single defender is going to have anything to say about it, as it will successfully go down. And Franklin plants his feet in Bathroom, loses his gunfight to Lecky, but he's done the legwork. If there is any form of teamwork here, you guys will keep these defenders off that case. Spiff taking care of from Epic on the bottom depths of Metal, and now you're going to have to do everything yourself. Lecky, C4, no joy, as now you're going to make the brutal decision to try to run and address verticality all by yourself. No air jab setup. A 1v1 is the main idea here. You need to be able to separate each and every gunfight, but you can't even get past that first roadblock, as now Core advance 4-2 as they switch on to the defense.
Yeah, Core looking absolutely dominant there. I mean, like you said, they get a foothold. That is 4 unanswered rounds on attack there from Core. Core Academy looked strong at the start. I mean, Kaysen able to start that momentum, get them started, but not able to finish out here, unfortunately. But it is a new swap. It is a new day. Looks like Clash and Dokkaebi will be the first bans coming out for Core and Core Academy here. Definitely interesting. Not a lot of Clash being played on the defense for Core Academy, but maybe Core able to utilize the Clash a lot better, make it enough so that Core Academy wants to ban her. Looks like Castle and Ace will be the other two attacker and defender getting banned. Looks like Core Academy now on the attack here. Will definitely be interesting to see what they get up to. Looks like Core going for a pretty standard, at least what I would say is standard, the Smoke, the Mira, the Goyo. I mean, I don't think we've seen anything but these operators for the last couple rounds. Definitely Goyo and definitely Mira. Smoke able to stall out even more time. Aruni even more time. Looks like Core going to play very bunkered up here. Looks like Core Academy trying to get rid of a lot of utility with the IQ, the Twitch, and the Flores here. Will definitely be interesting to see what they do with all of it. Looks like Franklin's still setting up the site. Looks like the rest of Core doing the same, trying to maintain places around the map. Looks like a quick rotate for Focal into 90 here. Looks like Franklin's trying to make even more sight lines to make it even more deadly for Core to be able to hold this Armory Locker setup.
Now, I mean, as you said it, 4 rounds unanswered here. They're starting to build up that leverage, and I mean, what did I tell you was going to happen? If you don't take the rounds when you can from Core, then they're going to learn the ways and the ins and outs that you have, and they will capitalize every single round. Whether it's an execute, whether it's putting that plant down, it will hurt every single time you see that round lost screen. And I mean, we saw how many plants that game, or that side? I mean, I saw 3+ at least. And that's a problem that Core Academy are going to have to address. I mean, you're on the away turf, so you're given the benefit of the doubt. But still, you need to find a response, because if you continue down this path, 7-2 is very likely. And that is definitely not the way you want to start off on the best of 3.
Yeah, 7-2 would not be great, because normally after a 7-2, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see a 7-1 or a 7-2 again. Looks like Core Academy is starting to get underway here. Looks like a smoke canister will be popped to almost no avail. Definitely going to have to prone underneath, as they know Kaysen is watching. Looks like Rival will be able to squeeze away. Looks like Spiff will find one onto Epic. Looks like Sophie will be taken down by Rival. And it looks like Core finding a lot of footing on this defense. Not great for Core Academy. They need to find something, and they need to find it fast.
2 fatalities here for Core Academy. Sophie and Epic haven't been able to find anything this game. They've been finding those picks, but sometimes they've been mostly empty. Kaysen finding Spiff, finding that response, and I mean, he's definitely been a difference maker for his team. He's gotten them one of the 2 rounds that they've managed to win here. Lucky taking care of it. In Rio, he's also been somebody trying to keep his team in the game, as he'll take care of Franklin, but Focal is here to find that refrag. Now, Lucky has done a lot of legwork. Kaysen is still left alive here as we find ourselves at level. They've set each other up, and sometimes playing as a team can mean sacrificing yourself if you can find 2 picks, because that refrag was inevitable by swinging out onto that triple wall. Just below a minute left means you have to be able to slow down and think about what is next. What's that next step? You managed to starve out all 3 canisters from Rival's pockets, and Focal only has an impact. The biggest problem will definitely be the Surya gates and those Vulcan canisters. And the question is, how will you be able to address it? The perfect use of utility, the perfect slow, calm composure from Core Academy. They try and prioritize the use of a shock drone, but it's instantly shot out, meaning we're going to have to go to the old reliable gunfights. Rival residing close on the Archives door means we're going to have 2 1v1s isolated here, as he is going to continue and play passive. And as he looks to get aggressive, Kaysen looks to make a bold choice, and it might lead to his death, but Adept is here looking to watch his teammates back, but Focal knows all too better. Isolates the first gunfight, leaving Adept all by himself in the depths of sight, isolates it to a 1, and now you only have 2 seconds to try to win it against him, but the defenders win it at the last second. Only an inch left for mistake, and he doesn't make those. That's the round. as now it's Focal to clutch it out, and QOR 1 round shy from the match point.
QOR looking really good there. I mean, playing for trades is something that these teams know how to do very well. I mean, we've been seeing it all series long, trade after trade after trade, and it looks like QOR Academy almost had it there, but QOR playing just slightly better, getting that trade, able to disengage from the gunfight for a split second to be able to re-engage on their terms as the defense made them just look that much better and able to secure another round to bring us one round closer to match point.
They've been playing it beautifully, man. I mean, the ways they have been executing each and every round, you would have thought you'd see an underdog play by the way QOR Academy came out the gate. But again, it's all about the first, the middle, and the last. And that is in the terms of pacing. You can come out the gate swinging, but do you have enough fuel to endure the rest of the match? And right now, it's showing us that QOR can go the long way. I told you, if we saw the round slow down, if we saw the pacing slow down from Academy, then QOR would make no mistake in capitalizing every single time. They're taking their time to execute, they're finding the refrags, and they're playing as a team. And that's not to say that QOR Academy isn't, but it's just simply on a different level from QOR.
Yeah, QOR, I mean, they've won quite a few tournaments before coming to Blitz, and it's definitely something that I think that they're showing right now, that they can go the distance. They aren't afraid of best of threes. They aren't afraid of best of fives even, as they can go round for round with people, and they're definitely doing it here with QOR Academy. I mean, at this point, it's a 5-round unanswered run from QOR. Looks like QOR Academy trying to see if they can find something to get underway. Looks like Gridlock will be making her debut in this series, trying to get a little bit more area denial, or maybe a little bit of sound coverage from those track stingers. Looks like Spiff will not back down from this Armory Locker's door here, though. Looks like he may even go and try and swing on what I believe to be Adept here, but it looks like nothing happening just quite yet. Swinging, and it looks like Spiff will find the kill onto Adept. Looks like QOR Academy not quite ready for this level of aggression coming out from QOR. Already a man down, minute 40 to go, not looking great for QOR Academy.
I mean, come on, you hear a shotgun in the close range, you know it doesn't mix. Kaysen catching Inrio off guard.
Inrio?
I mean, what the hell was he doing? You have the cams, you have the intel needed, but Franklin managing to take care of Kaysen through the floor. Be aware of your surroundings, come on, as now it's a 2v4, and it looks like QOR are knocking on the door of this match point, and they're hungry for it. Epic giving his team that fighting chance for good measure. Put the whole mag into his body to make sure he's dead, but Rival goes out swinging, gets a kill, and evacuates instantly. He's forced that case loose. He might be low, but he has his goo mines regenerating, his assistance from the Warden and the smoke on site, and now it's just Epic left on the front lines to either try to prolong this defeat, the match point, and close down the difference to 2, or fall and feel the consequences of fully gracious, coordinated QOR stack. Because now he's trapped on the front lines of Bathroom with little to no escape. He'll take care of Focal, but now these defenders continue to ask questions he can't find responses for, as he's still pinched in this bathtub.
Looks like Franklin will find the ending pick there. Looks like QOR taking it to match point here. Looks like QOR Academy needing to find an answer and needing to find it fast. I'm not sure what QOR Academy can do here. They have been getting a decent headway into these, into these attacking rounds. They're not doing horribly, but QOR is finding, at least in the late game, just more and more mistakes that QOR Academy is making and able to capitalize and exploit them. Not a great look. It looks like we may not even see the third round bans coming from either side if QOR can take this round. Looks like QOR going to set up on this top floor here. Looks like a Mute Wamai Legion Solus Malusi. Definitely interesting here, as not a lot of difference between these defenses of this workshop site. I mean, Solus coming back to try and spot that plant, but it looks like it may not happen, as it looks like a lot of what QOR Academy has brought out. It looks like Nook will be coming out this time around. trying to be able to find maybe a cheeky kill, sneak in and sneak a kill onto Core before they even know what's going on. Looks like Epic will be entering the building fast and hot here, trying to see if he can find anything. Looks like he won't be able to find much, knowing that all the defenders are on the top floor here. Slowly starting to make his way, put a little bit more pressure as the rest of Core Academy slowly starts to move in towards this site.
Beautifully worded. I mean, the site is ventilation. Verticality is a necessity regardless of what you think. Epic is looking to lurk and find a kill here, but will not find joy. So he will focus his ideas on the upstairs hold, but honestly, not before Swift takes care of business and will take care of Adept. A little bit of a quick flick, lands one bullet onto Focal, but Focal's here to hold his trigger down, and that will be enough to take care of business. In the meantime, Rival will take care of Kaysen, and now we find ourselves in a 5v2 situation. Only a minute and 10 seconds into the round. I mean, there are questions being asked here from Core, and the Academy just cannot find any responses. Lecky eases up the pressure from the offices and archive side, but the question is, what are you going to do from here? Your teammate is a ways away. He's the one with the most HP, and there's still a man that wedges in between this attacking from the depths of jail. Now, the siege timing might have just saved you by him turning his focus outside of Armory's breach, but still, you know his location, and he's not swinging you. Spiff is single-handedly just wasting so many precious seconds here, but Lecky finally can thread that needle, takes care of business, as now it's become 10 times as realistic here for Core Academy. Left off at level, and now it's all up to those two players to try to see if we're going to a second map now or later.
Looks like Inrio on that Solus, definitely good for Core to still have alive, able to see anywhere that plant decides to go down. Looks like the yellow ping, Wilecki starting to sniff out Inrio, maybe able to see maybe just a fraction of movement here. Nothing happening just yet. Looks like Wilecki will find his fourth. Wilecki looking absolutely great for Core Academy, but Inrio, the only one that Core needs with 30 seconds left alive, that Solus able to find wherever these attackers want to plant. It looks like Wilecki throwing down some flashbangs. Looks like Wilecki going to plant here. Looks like Inrio starting to move around. Not going to activate that Solus, but we'll see what happens. Inrio is starting to swing.
No! Inrio, he'll win the first! Sprays blind into the smoke, but still a 1v1 with that shotgun is achievable, especially when Lecky's below 50. SMG-11 primed and ready. The flash rains out, meaning he is going to seek refuge in the second ventilation site. But Lecky is going to be able to win it, and that was so possible for Inrio, but we can luckily and gladfully say that the ending of this map has been prolonged and the deficit is close to 3.
Yeah, Wilecki, absolutely amazing ace out there. I mean, he did not stop, was hot the entire round. Absolutely great stuff from him. The Inrio on the Solus, definitely not bad. I mean, like you said, that shotgun able to do so much damage to Core Academy, but Wilecki just barely able to make it out. Luckily through a flashbang. I'm honestly surprised Inrio didn't just blind swing with that shotgun, maybe able to take off the last remaining bit of Wilecki's HP, but Wilecki able to ace and take the round for Core Academy.
Attackers need to locate.
I mean, again, these guys are all in the zone. Spiff is managing to keep his team. I mean, he's making up for the fact that Inrio is not performing at the highest level. But again, Rival, Franklin, they're in the zone. And on the other side of that coin, you have Lecky and Kaysen both giving their team that fighting chance. It is now just a matter of whose lower table team is going to be able to step it up here. Will it be Inrio and Focal to step it up for Core, or will it be Epic, Soapy, and Adept to step it up here for Core Academy to continue and push Border to the further and further rounds, because we are barely going to scratch double-digit rounds if they cannot rise.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, like you said, that lower table of both teams, Inrio has been having, you know, not an amazing game. Definitely finding value, definitely finding utility value, but in terms of kills value, not a whole lot. Same could be said of Soapy, Epic, and Adept, though, like you said, as well as Focal and Spiff for the core boys. Definitely interesting to see what will happen here. It looks like Inrio not able to find exactly what he wants to get rid of here on this wall. It looks like Adept will be watching the spectacle of the Aruni as well. Looks like the rest of Core Academy slowly starting to move. Rival getting sniffed out by Epic's Grim Bees. Looks like a lot of what Core Academy is going to try and go for here. With that Finka, that Lion, I would say it's a bit of a rush comp, but I'm not too sure. It looks like Soapy will find one on Rival. It looks like Kaysen trying to find something. Looks like the Blackbeard maybe trying to get taken advantage of as Spiff finds his pick onto Kaysen as we get underway with a minute 50 left to go.
You've now lost the spearhead of your attack and as well one of your top fraggers. Kaysen goes down in trade of Rival. The Toxic Babes will be deprived, but still Vulcan canisters from Goyon, the F-Nots from Franklin will be enough to hold these attackers at bay as Spiff takes care of business by taking care of Soapy as well. Not being able to rise in the occasion this round or this time around. There's still so much time left for these defenders to do something against it. But again, it's a problem here for Core Academy when they cannot address each and every one, and Core just address their ones, win them, and hold sight all at the same time. Don't you see the issues in that? As now, it's starting to get to that 70-second mark in a 1v3. I feel like we're edging towards the end of Border.
Yeah, I mean, Adept definitely in a tough situation. 2 Finka boosts remaining, 2 frag grenades, but unable to cook those frag grenades. Not a whole lot you can do with the remaining Finka boost. No team to buff. It looks like he's going to look away as Core tries to swing. Maybe catching them off guard. Will find one on the Focal. Will be getting lit up. It looks like Franklin will take it, taking the round for Core.
Wow. That is a first map if I've ever seen one. I think that is the most eventful first map, regardless of the scoreline. Both teams have a point to prove, and they have definitely showed us they are here for it. Core to advance for that first map, and I mean, honestly, it's played out beautifully. Both sides are showing why they want to be here, but it's only Core to show us why they're that main roster team. I mean, Franklin, he's unstoppable. The man's an absolute demon, and his team was slowly catching up in the later stages of the map after they were down that 0-2 series. But ladies and gentlemen, the next map is Chalet, where the data can't lie, because we don't have enough to say. We've only seen it being played on one side or one time for either side here in the last month, meaning anything can happen. And it's picked out by the Academy, meaning definitely anything can happen. Now we just got to see these lower table players pick it up, but those are points we need to bring up after the break. Grab a refresher, make sure to sit back and relax, and stay tuned for this next map, because there's no way in hell you're going anywhere after that first.
To fluffy aimers, my bad. And we do head on to the next round. This is a nightmare. This is a disaster.
Stop this far from going down. It doesn't look like they're going to plant. It's fully down from the attackers, but it's going to be a refrag at least. Hitman gets Benzo before Alisplay gets Rival. And now he's trying to take down this Blitz. The Mike W gets one, gets 2! Beautiful Blitz play, and gets a 3rd! A triple kill from Mike W onto the shield. And now all this stuff is going to be Cotter on the Legion, and he gets the 4K on the round. Wonderful shield play. Spirits would be proud.
Oh, that it could be the X factor here. And while the Goyo canisters start going, opening up the boiler wall is going to be the next step. Laundry wall not open. Looking for an execute. Players on hatches. Player trying to go to boilers. They could go for a plant on the wine wall, a 3v3. And once again, one player standing up on top of the table, and the shot from behind. There goes one, there goes the second, but the plant is going down. It goes down, and he finds the 3rd scoop. All 3, the 1v3, and suddenly Space Shoes have given themselves an advantageous half.
Defenders going upstairs because they know how important it is to get the vert. Jackal slumps one. Can he slump the second? No, he can't. It's a 2v2. This is where you hold on to your cups, your coffees, your teas. It's a 1v1 situation. 14 seconds left on the clock. What a shot. Hectic left in that 1v1 situation. There's pings on him. All you have to do is...
These defenders slowly being forced off their post, but with just a minute 30, Outlast Black still got to do some work. This is a deceptively small amount of time here on the border attack, and even less so when you give up 2 on the flank. There goes Snecky, doesn't even need the smokes. 2 delay, and it's a triple.
Oh my god!
Just don't check the angle they just died from.
It's Toaster Den. That's a powerful player. While the scoreboard might not show it anymore, Toaster was top fragging, and Toaster was doing it big. Now a big play has to come from Scoop, who has spotted one top row, wins that fight against Inrio, gets a double, might be looking for a triple, and he gets rival. Are you kidding me? There's 15 seconds left. Twist has to get the plant down. He has to get himself inside, making this effectively a 2 versus 1. Kendall has to defend up against both Scary and Scoop, but as that plant goes down, it seems like the dream is coming to an end. It has to be an ace and a clutch for Scoop. Was completely locked off by that air jab, not able to get it, but manages to scoot away. Potentially have an opening. He's vaulted now inside of Pro. Has one all the way back admin to deal with, and one coffin as well. Not sure if he's going to be able to do this one. Has plenty of angles against him. There's so little he can do at this point. Gets air jab naded and finished off.
Pick as well. Although he ends up getting down, the diffuser has still gone down. Like JJ, or Kira rather, he's in a 1 versus 2 now. Even with diffuser down, 1 player on Overwatch, 1 on the counter diffuse! Oh! But he's able to get them both in 1 mag!
So now they're going to drop down into Fireplace and hopefully...
2 remaining for Cincinnati. Cheese Boss trapped all the way inside Gold Vault.
Arno working from Garage, able to close out Nay on that approach, but you have 2 players on side of the Toxic Babe from Cheese Boss.
What?
Eviscerates 1, lowers the HP of Wimpy. They're at maybe 10 HP in total.
Are you kidding me?
Cheese Boss! What a round to come out from hiding within the gold bottle. They struck gold.
Towards default plant, and does he have the support? It looks like he does. Snake forcing Giddy. He's getting pushed down, pushed back, and he's going to be traded out. Flurry of kills. It starts to slow down a little bit, but they just can't slow down. 5 seconds remaining. The plant going down as 1 remaining defender to keep themselves in this series. Packer getting the kill, but it's instantly traded out from Snake. And goodbye, Makers. And Ariel, welcome to the Grand Final.
Is the second player. The second player of Amazing has already wrapped back into Church as well, but he's gone from the other side. Wrapped and found Amazing. He knows that the second is playing behind this half wall, but he doesn't realize that now he's close on bomb. Perseus, like we said, is very low HP, but now he realizes, oh, Glass is in Church. I have Case. All I need to do is put it down into the ground, and I have 25 seconds left at this point to do just that. Rotate out of Perseus, goes through the rotate, but he's...
Only 2 players remaining for Phantom Legion. They've got a Lion Scan. They're freezing them in place. Here comes Epic with the swing. He still has some presence over to this side of the map. He's gonna might be able to cause some damage. There's one. He's gonna swing. He's feeling the heat, and now decides to kind of switch. Epic now controls the outer area. As the offense is now inside, he's just gonna completely go back to their spawn. What's going on?
It's gonna be a 3v3. Beautifully done. 40 seconds, and hold on, 86% at a disadvantage for nearly the entire round. They're gonna now push themselves in a man advantage. Not only that, but Ash is gonna be TPO. There's not gonna be a dub to be able to res him. However, don't count J Hitman out just yet. Making it a 1v1. Don't make it an ace. The C4 narrowly misses J Pistol, put in a situation where he's probably got his heart in his chest. J Hitman with the ace.
Get the kill.
Oh, the timing!
3v2 post plant. Yeah, diffuser down, but they need the kills. Ryonix now is upstairs alone. Nobody is on the second floor of Ryonix. Can watch it from above, but he drops down. Logger dies. Ryonix now in a 1v1.
No way.
Getter. Inside of Teller's shotgun. It's going to be preferable here for Ryonix. He needs to get this goal on the castle. Looking the wrong way. They're both so close together, both on full health. Let's get her around the side. Ryonix now holding behind the shower stall. They are
This is
just running in circles. He has to get on this diffuser. Ryonix needs to kill. He'll get it. Invictus comes.
Range is between 0% and 5%. Blacking off sectors. What's going on here? Now,
Play it down, but they do manage to at least find one on the Lunar. It's going to be Toaster. That's 1. Finds 2. He could make this happen. One of them is down. Both are go down. Actually, if you look so pleased out there, he can just find the planter.
Toaster!
What happened?
Creating bolts are something that could really easily force them out of this position, and he's going to leave at the first sign of danger, not even getting to the asphyxiating bolts themselves yet, which now can be used instead to cinch down on the objective and close the site off. Gold going for 2 now as he finds a crossfire on the head of Rival, and the Clash is still holding strong as well. The asphyxiating bolt goes out, but it's going to have no impact, as Gold is good for 4. He wants the fin, he's going to go down and step. His teammate should have his back. Gold with the Midas touch on this round. It should be easy for him.
Now, a big thanks to our boys behind the scene, our boys and girls actually, I apologize. They managed to chop a minute off the clock, meaning we get to see this action a little bit sooner. If you did miss out on that first map, well, let me remind you, we have QOR versus QOR Academy on the first map, which was Border. You had 2 amazing Chef's Kisses rounds from QOR Academy. They swung out the gate, but then they missed every single swing from then on, looking at a 3-7 scoreline. They'll move on to home turf. Chalet is map 2, and hopefully QOR Academy can find some substance to push this all the way to Clubhouse.
I wouldn't say that QOR Academy missed every single swing. I mean, Waileki looked absolutely dominant on that second half, looking absolutely warmed up and ready to go. But yeah, QOR looking absolutely dominant. I mean, I think they had 4 or 5 unanswered rounds, followed by a brief ace by Waileki, and then QOR able to close it out, able to take us to this Chalet map. Will definitely be interesting. A lot more verticality on this one, a lot more space to see, you know, longer sight lines, more issues in terms of, you know, verticality. Definitely a thing on Border, but not like Chalet, where a lot of this map is made out of destructible flooring. And so it'll be interesting to see the ram, the buck, all the things that can be done to absolutely destroy this building.
Now, luckily for QOR, they get to start off on the defense because they pick their sides. But I mean, this map is honestly so heavily dependent on how coordinated the opposing side is, that if there is no trend, if there is no teamwork by QOR, then honestly, they're screwed and we're going to map 3. But I honestly think the momentum that was built up from this first map was so heavy and so severe against QOR Academy that we might see a one-sided affair for this second map. But again, the data is just not there. There is not enough times played on Chalet where we can say this is exactly what's going to happen and this is what we expect here. Chalet is just one of those odd maps that we haven't seen QOR play in a while, and the only time we've seen QOR Academy play it was in the finale in a best out of 1 where they won it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what QOR Academy can get started here. Definitely their home turf. Like you were saying last round, QOR did pick Border and did get away with it. So it'll be interesting to see what QOR Academy can do here. Looks like the Mute coming out, probably able to jam some of those walls. Azami coming out, an interesting one. We've not seen a lot of her so far. The kitchen site also a little bit weird coming from QOR to start off on, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. That Azami able to create those Kiba barriers, able to create those lines of sights, those little pixel angles that QOR Academy will have trouble dealing with. Looks like the rest of QOR, verticality I said was going to be the name of the game. QOR sure knows that 4 players already up on this second floor here. Definitely will be interesting to see what they do. A lot of holes being made, a lot of default defuse sites trying to get sniffed and scoped out by the defense here as we get underway. A lot of destruction on the side of QOR Academy. Sledge and Buck coming out. You already know QOR Academy is ready to add to the destruction that QOR has done to this building. That Sledge and that Buck able to open all the walls and all the floors. It'll be interesting to see what they do here.
Now, the only interesting thing that I can really point out here for the QOR defensive is the fact that they are going bar. They don't have the Mira, so again, they're going to have to rely a little bit heavier on the verticality without the assistance of the Black Mirrors, but they haven't brought a Castle or a Jaeger or Wamai. Now, how are you expected to catch the projectiles and all of the utility that flies into Library? There's going to be some heavy issues with playing this. You tricked me. the site is Kitchen. Now, as it stands, Kitchen is a harder site to play on in terms of not having that castle, but you can work your way around it. Now, that solves the Jaeger problem, but still, the shield is going to be one of your biggest protectors upstairs, but you need to be able to coordinate and find first blood, which Franklin, an absolute dog so far in this series, has been able to do by taking care of Lecky, and you've now lost your flank watch.
Looks like QOR Academy starting to bring a little bit of pressure, even though Waileki is down starting to close in on that master bedroom. Although Epic gonna be deterred by the Frost shooting the Azami barrier. Epic finding one onto Inrio. Soapy getting the trade, or Soapy getting traded rather, as Focal finds that pick. Looks like Kaysen will find a trade with Focal. Absolute bloodshed, back to back to back refrags. Here it looks like Epic will find one on a spiff. They're just going at it.
I mean, you talk about Karn and co, but you don't talk about the carnage we're seeing on the other side of the map. A 2-all, as now it has fallen for both sides. I mean, dominoes fall every single couple of seconds out of each round. Verticality is dissected somewhat, but not fully yet. You'll have Adept falling, if I'm not mistaken, is either to the gunfight or to a Frost map, but it does show that he is going to be downed outside to the 1v1 from Franklin, but Epic shuts him down. He shows us why he wants to be here to play in game out. He can get kills in the NAL, why not here as well? But last map just wasn't his, as now he gets the res, gives himself the 1v2 advantage, but will go down and trade. Adept, only 20 HP to work with here on the external of the building, case in hand, and what can you do with it? The cross is being held, but it's Rival to finish it and find it for QOR, as that first round is a bold statement.
QOR picking the unorthodox, like you said. Kitchen is definitely a little bit of the weirder side. I mean, you thought they started on bar. I was surprised that it wasn't basement or that bedroom site. Instead, it was in the kitchen. QOR able to take it somewhat flawlessly there. I mean, Rival making that SMG-12 look easy, or SMG-11 look easy there in the hands of the smoke. Looks absolutely dominant there. Looks like Maestro coming out for QOR here. Maybe able to try and sniff out, trying to defuse in garage. See if QOR Academy will use QOR's own strats against them. I mean, we've seen QOR go for somewhat fast plants, trying to maybe stall and abate that. Kaid to get rid of that, you know, get rid of the hard breach opportunity. Mozzie and Mute, anti-drone all over the place. You can absolutely ready to stall any intel QOR Academy can find. It looks like Waileki coming in on the Deimos, hopefully able to find a few more picks here. It looks like Epic back on the sledge, maybe trying to tear up some of that, you know, bar floor, that foyer floor. But it looks like instead he's going to go straight into garage and get the round underway.
I mean, defending downstairs is such a tricky task, because if you lose control of either trench or blue in a not a large amount of time, in a second where the attackers are going to have to wonder what they want to do next, if you give them the time to think on how they want to approach the site, then it's going to be a horrible time to play against. I mean, the defenders, you only have so much limited utility to be able to come out on top. Granted, you definitely need to play upstairs, you need to play in kitchen, and you need to lurk to be able to force the mistakes from QOR Academy. Now, they're a team with less experience. They're also a team that has taken down some pretty big dogs as well. By taking care of 5 Fears, they've beat Karn sometimes. They've lost to Karn as well, but they have some or enough experience to be able to take care of business here. But not enough to expect a double swing from Spiff to find the hard breacher and the soft breacher in the same swing. Only one left, and Soapy is gonna go without a fight. He's not gonna drop, but you know who is? The rest of his teammates. A 2v3 as Lecky reels it back in for his team, but we find ourselves in a 2v3 situation, and they've yet to knock on the door of the site. But Soapy rising to the occasion. We didn't see this last map, but now he's looking a little bit more awake, a little bit more refreshed. He's feeling rejuvenated as he'll find 2 kills this round, and they are allowed to reset because they have plenty of time and a leveled man count to try to execute.
Looks like Inrio and Franklin, the only ones left. Those Maestro Evil Eyes still up. No way to deal with them. No sledge, no Twitch. those frag grenades from Wilecki may be the only things able to get rid of those evil eyes. Only 2 of them, not the third. Franklin, interesting to see where he's placed all those evil eyes. Probably able to stop the plant here. It looks like Wilecki going to try and clear that hallway there. Maybe find something onto Franklin, although unlikely. It looks like Soapy and Wilecki just going to try and take it a little bit low and slow here with 40 seconds left to go.
Just half a minute on the clock here. QOR Academy have done so much of the legwork to be able to put themselves in the position of having it at level, and it looks like they're going to take aggression first, go for a reset, but that bulletproof camera, those maestros are definitely providing so much intel. Franklin can't get lucky, but that C4 shot out midair makes matters worse. Lecky takes care of business by trading out the first. Inrio, 1v1 with only 15 seconds means play ring around the Rosie and isolate the ones, but Soapy just doesn't know better. Doesn't hear you seek refuge in the corner of the split, and you'll take care of business. 2 core clutches in a row.
QOR looking great. I mean, their clutch factor absolutely insane, like you're saying. I mean, that's been 2 2v1s that they've been able to win. Interesting for QOR Academy. They're not doing bad. They just need to get a little bit more out of themselves, out of their remaining players to be able to push above and beyond. It looks like we'll be going to the bar site now. Looks like Jaeger will be coming out this time around, trying to get rid of maybe, you know, I'm a wishful thinker. I like to see Fuse on these kinds of maps where verticality is a do or die kind of thing, although I think at this level QOR Academy will not be opting to do that. Instead, probably trying to catch frag grenades, flashbangs, smoke grenades, something of that nature. Looks like Rival putting some of his ADSs up on the second floor, as well as it looks like QOR will bunker down up on that second floor, not give any verticality to QOR Academy quite easily. Looks like Flores will be coming out for QOR Academy, trying to get rid of those Fenrir mines, maybe some of those Kiba barriers and the mute jammers as well. It'll be interesting to see what they do as our round gets underway here.
Now, these first impressions have been beautiful so far. Now, the question is, can QOR Academy find their first? Because we did see QOR Academy find 2 rounds on Border before the main rostered QOR found their response and built off of that. The question is, can it happen again when the roles are reversed? And now, it's only up to the attacking to figure this out. I mean, they're getting closer and closer. 2v2, and then to a 1v1, and then to a 1v2. Anything can happen, and I'm really hoping a response can be seen here, because we really don't want to see a 2-0 split or a 2-0 end of map.
Looks like Soapy gonna use those Selma charges to start opening up walls, put a little bit more pressure onto these QOR Academy second floor players. Looks like Spiff gonna find a quick kill onto Adept as he's rotating. What a shot by Spiff there.
That's first blood on the board, but it'll be Focal to get traded out as we find ourselves at a leveled man count. Azami on the front lines of offices doesn't go out with a fight as Soapy will go down. That's their hard reacher gone. Spiff gets traded out right back as Kaysen is looking to keep his team in the game. Lecky builds off by taking care of Rival, and now it's a 3v2 situation. Inrio has to make the hard decision if he wants to fall off and go back down, or if he wants to take a kill and risk it and force his team into a 1v3 situation. But Franklin is going to be the one to get aggressive, too quick, too fast, as he is currently 1-3, hasn't been able to find anything, and is going to do whatever it takes to try to change that. But in the meantime, Inrio drops a little too late, tries to isolate the gunfight, and now that is finally a response from the QOR Academy, and it looks like we're following the footsteps of the last game.
Yeah, QOR Academy looking even better out there, making it a 1v3, and Inrio almost powerless to do anything there. Would like to note, I think he got a little bit of siege timing, unable to find the player on the hatch below him, too preoccupied with the player up in, I guess, library or on the other side of that foyer there. Looks like QOR Academy starting off pretty strong here, though. Hopefully they can build off the momentum that they're gaining.
Now, what a game this has been, as Kitchen's going to be the venue for the next up site. I mean, you honestly, I want your insight. How do you think this next round is going to go?
I think QOR Academy can do it. I mean, the last time Core was in the kitchen, Core brought it to a 2v, or Core Academy brought it to a 2v1 in their favor. It just happened that the Solus with that SMG-11 looking absolutely dominant and unfortunately couldn't make them close out the round. But after that last round, a little bit more momentum. They kind of know how Core likes to set up for their kitchen. So I think Core Academy can take this. It looks like the Lion and the Sledge definitely able to open up a lot more. Probably use that Sledge to, you know, open that floor, open some walls. Looks like not a whole lot of answers. Maybe the Azami from Core would be the only thing to counter Epic's Sledge here. But yeah, I think overall Core Academy can do it. They just need to find those picks, and they just need to find that utility, try and get rid of Core Academies while being able to use their own to, you know, maintain that site advantage and take site control.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I also feel like it matters when it comes to finding the first kill. It has been leaning both sides. I mean, the way that you've had Core Academy try to reel it back in, and you've had Core trying to get aggressive, it's been something that has been determining the outcome of each and every round. But also, the clutch fact. Academy keeps putting themselves in an area where they have to rely on one player or two players to clutch up, and that is a problem, especially on the attacking side. As Kaysen goes down to a Frost map, decides to rip out the bear trap himself, means he'll be immobile for 60 seconds. Adept taking heavy damage alongside with Wilecki, but Franklin will be the one to fall first as a casualty, as they've actually grasped full site control. A plant looks to go down. They don't have a Solus, they don't have a Pulse, and no intel within the site means this is going to be a very easy plant. You're going to have the Bailiff look to have some form of soft destruction, but you're a ways away from that plant. A little bit of a rush, and we saw this happen, but it was Core who were putting that case down, and now the tables have turned. What are you going to be able to do here? Just a 9-man count, and it's going to have to be isolated ones, as these defenders have now become the attackers. All they have to do is isolate, but they just can't do that. Soapy gets a kill, but instantly traded up by Focal, as now the bodies drop for either side as it's left up at level, but Kaysen delaying the drop of Solar. He's taken care of, but still, you have to take into account the fuse time it takes to counter defuse, but somehow a 1v3 is the name of the game. Just force them off the case. You will do so, and they will not have enough time. That's a response from the Academy as it's now put up at level.
Core, just unfortunate for them. They had the vertical control, but they didn't have the sightline, unable to punish Core Academy just running in and planting there. We saw the exact same thing happen in almost the exact same round last map, round 4 this map, round 3 last map, where but one team, you know, the attacking side just ran in and planted, able to, you know, a lot of trades, a little bit of a nail biter, but in the end, the attackers able to take the round. It looks like Core going straight back to the kitchen after getting countered. But it's like I said, I mean, Core Academy able to use, I guess, that little bit of util, but I guess not even play into Core Academy's util. Core Academy not able, or Core not able to do much with their own utility up on that second floor. It looks like Capcan will be coming out. A lot more traps for Core here. They don't want those attackers to sneak in like they did last time. Instead of the Solus, they will be bringing those EDDs instead. It looks like Core Academy may be looking for the same thing. Looking like a gridlock coming in, though, to mask that planting noise. Make it even harder for the defenders to get in with those track stingers. Be interesting to see what happens as we go right back to the kitchen site.
I mean, if they are going to rid of that rush play, which I do think is going to happen, because you have the Spear, you have the Blackbeard, you have the Flank Watch as well, it would make perfect sense to address the verticality now that you've managed to put yourselves up at level. You can take your time here. You're throwing the defenders a little bit of a curveball and forcing them to adapt yet again. But now, as you mentioned before, these EDDs are definitely going to be a problem that they're going to have to deal with. Immense droning is the steps 101 that you need to be able to find each and every trap. And honestly, the first pick is going to happen via either trap or aggression from a defender because of the amount of traps they have set up and they have the info to be able to swing off of it. But again, the authority that Wilecki's trying to establish is unwarranted because you're unaware of your surroundings. You've droned out, but you haven't looked at the people who are sitting close on the reinforcement, who sit close on blue. Yes, they've now ran away, but you have to be mindful of your surroundings. Lecky goes down, Frost gets the finish, and if she gets traded out now, you've taken care of the spearhead of this attack, and it's honestly well done in terms of refrags, but that's just not the case. Spiff takes care of Kaysen, and this attack is just crumbling as Franklin finds Soapy, and that's 3 casualties in just a minute and 20 seconds.
Yeah, Core Academy able to get into gunfights, but not able to finish them. It looks like Epic and Adept will be playing back-to-back here. Looks like Epic trying to maybe see if he can mix up his angle, find a way to catch the defenders off guard. It looks like Rival swinging very, very recklessly there. Very, very aggressive. Will not work out for him, but it will take a little bit off of Epic's health as there's only a minute 15 left to go. Looks like Core Academy doesn't have the diffuser as well. Looks like Adept and Epic trying to find any footholds, any picks, any leeway that they can, but Core not going to give them any of it.
Just a minute on the clock here. 3 bodies drop in turn for the 1 on the side of Core, as now it becomes so much more realistic for Core to continue and run out the clock and look to build up their lead. But Adept has something to say about that. Eases up the pressure from Piano. Now has Inreal at 1 HP, and it looks like these defenders are starting to pull back because they've done their job, which is waste the damn time. Run out that clock, and there are still the EDDs if they were placed on the opposite area. Inreal threads that needle off of an off angle that Adept just isn't expecting, and now we find ourselves in a 1v3 situation.
Epic unable to find any picks there. I mean, he looked so very paranoid at the end there. Definitely somewhat of a strong attack from Core Academy, but their start was not good. Able to, you know, persevere, hold out, and wait until, you know, regroup, find some footing onto Core, but Core just having the higher man count made it just so much easier for them to be able to hold. Looks like they'll go back to the bar here. Looks like we will have a Fenrir here. Looks like nothing too unusual, probably all going right back up to that second floor to deny that verticality for Core Academy to use against them. Looks like Core Academy not really bringing a whole lot of vertical operators as well. I was surprised. So far we have not seen a Ram at all. There's been not a whole lot of vertical play. There's been, you know, some decent vertical setups like we've seen on, you know, on Border, where the defenders will play above the site or play a little bit around it, try and stall time, make sure the attackers can't just take what they want to take. But Core Academy not really opting to go full verticality here, trying to get maybe a little bit, but it looks like they've heard me. It looks like Kaysen will come out on the Ram, trying to be able to open up that library space, that office space up right above that A site, hopefully able to make something happen for Core Academy.
Now, Core manages to barely continue and find the lead. I mean, they've managed to give up a 2-0 lead, but they have changed the narrative, because once we've seen the 2-0 split lost, we usually see the teams come back to continue and advance. But that narrative's been changed. Core managed to stay with that 1-round advantage, and they have the ability to make it a 4-2 split if they win this defensive round. But attacking your enemy's map is definitely not what you want to do, especially on Chalet. The progress from Core Academy has come so far as we're not seeing crazy heroics from either player. We're not seeing Kaysen go nuclear, and we're seeing the leaderboard a little bit more spread out now.
Yeah, I mean, Core Academy, there's not really one star player. Like we've seen, you know, last map on Border, it was Kaysen and Wailecki looking absolutely dominant, but now the kill spread looking a little bit more even for Core Academy. They're playing a little bit more like a team, dare I say, and it looks like Core, you know, doing the same, definitely looking a lot, you know, pretty similar in terms of kills and deaths and assists and so on. It looks like Core Academy trying to take their breach here, trying to get up to that second floor. Those Azami barricades from Spiff making it even harder. Looks like Focal will find one on the Kaysen. Minute to go, and it looks like Core Academy needs to find something. They need to start draining out util. They need to start finding kills. It looks like Rival will be finding kills instead onto Soapy there with just a minute left to go.
God damn, Focal. Buddy wants to use all of the Toxic Babes right here and right now. Only does 1 tick of damage to Adept, but you've taken care of the Soft Creature and the Deimos. you're in an ideal spot. As long as you can hold the pressure in library, you're A-okay and you're in a beautiful spot. As Inrio is stuck in library, has the ability to activate his glass, but a quick flick is enough to do the damage, to take 2 bodies out of commission. But Foco will take care of Adept at that last second, meaning there will still be a 1-man advantage here for Core. Now, they don't have that denial. We saw how fast Foco burned through all the toxic babes, but the fact is, they have the site control. As Franklin is traded up for a very risky play here, Lecky makes it a 1v1. Foco tries to continue and find the refrags, but now the SMG-11 at range is a big problem, especially when there's intel on you. The case is loose, meaning you need to win your ones, and Foco wins it. Lecky runs at him, unaware of the fact that he's just gonna swing all willy-nilly with that SMG in hand. And that'll be the 4-2 split for Core.
Yeah, Core getting a lot of momentum here. 2-4 split, not great for Core Academy, but Core Academy does start on the defense. Pretty standard for what we've seen so far. Core Academy definitely wishing it was a 3-3 or something greater, but not a bad start for them. Definitely better than being 6-0 or 5-1. Looks like Ace and Azami will be the first bans coming out. Definitely something we've seen a lot of, that Azami, oh so crucial for Core on their defense. Definitely don't want it used against them. Don't want Core Academy getting any ideas. And it looks like Ace and looks like BLITZ will be the bans for Core Academy on attack or on defense for the attackers that they don't want to see. Looks like Valkyrie will be banned as well. That intel oh so prevalent, especially on a map like Chalet. So many open areas, so many spots to hide those black eye cameras. And you know, a little bit of a shield meta. People don't really like BLITZ. Ace, a really good hard breacher to breach from range. So definitely a good picks all around from both teams. It looks like Core Academy going for a bit of a bunker here. The castle coming out, Solus and Mira as well. Looks like they will be picking the kitchen to start off. Definitely unorthodox pick, but we'll see what happens. It looks like Core Academy going to play vertically. Name of the game on this Chalet map, not really too surprising, but it will be interesting to see how Core Academy defends differently from their big brother here on this second floor.
4-2 split, a very dangerous lead here for Core. But with the lineup that they're bringing and cooking up here, I feel like the first pick will give us more insight onto how the round will go. But from what we've learned, the first map shows us that we can never dismiss a team too early. And Core Academy have the ability to make that comeback. But that means everybody needs to step it up. Epic couldn't find any leverage last map, but now he has. He's the only one who's managed to find kills in and out. Lecky is the one who continues to be left in 1vx situations. But you guys have so many problems you need to address. You haven't called a timeout yet, and that's an issue. And to make matters worse, your first man has fallen. Your savior, your hero, has fallen as the only man, or the second only man who's been positive falls, leaving only Lecky up.
Yeah, it looks like Rival finding one on the case in there. Soapy forced to go back down to site, or at least trying to watch these stairs. Not much has happened. Very little pressure applied by Core so far, but it's working for them in droves, up by 2 men right now. Definitely not a great look, but Soapy finding a cheeky off angle, able to find 2. Able to even up the odds for Core Academy there. Much needed relief from Soapy there. And hopefully, while Lecky finding one on the spiff, looks like Core Academy is coming back, and they're coming back fighting.
Wallbang, though, puts it right back up at even, as now the statement from Core Academy is we don't fall easy, but apparently a 5-5-2 through the wall is going to make you fall, as now it's evened out here. The call, the logic bomb deployed, and now we find ourselves in a situation where it's going to be very ones heavy unless these guys can retrieve the case. It's been forced loose, and they have just 70 seconds to either pick what they want to do, whether it's to win their ones or try to force a plant down. As Soapy tries to give himself that off angle by vaulting up to the bathtub, can't do it in time, so he's just going to settle on sitting close on the door and playing either off a pixel or isolating the ones. But Foco wedges himself so far into Piano so fast that Soapy just can't watch that cross. A triple for Inrio means there's less than a minute left, and he's left in a 1vx situations again. The 1vx's are crazy for Core Academy. play as a unit, and we're just not seeing that. You'll manage to find the first as you're on a triple kill as well, but Focal rises to the occasion, and that's a round for QOR as they are just building this lead up, round in and round out.
QOR looking really good there. I mean, QOR Academy had a shot. Soapy almost able to find the kill onto the Dokkaebi there, but the UMP's rate of fire compared to the SMG-12, that SMG-12 will fire much faster and a lot more bullets down where your enemy is, and it's able to give QOR the victory there. Looks like QOR Academy trying to find anything to mix this up. Looks like the Ella will be coming out. Definitely somewhat of an interesting pick. Hopefully able to maybe tell where QOR is in the building with those Gersmont mines. Looks like Jaeger coming out as well, and Vigil as well. Hopefully, you know, maybe QOR Academy is starting to do a little bit of roaming here. We've not seen a whole lot of it, although that Dokkaebi really good at roam clearing. And QOR last round did not put a whole lot of pressure on it, got a whole lot of value out of it. Hopefully the same thing doesn't happen here for QOR Academy. Hopefully they can walk away with more than 3 rounds in this map, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. Looks like the rest of QOR Academy set up downstairs. Kaysen, the only one, maybe trying to look for a spawn peek here, but it looks like Focal on the shield with a rival following close behind. Not much will happen for Kaysen to find anything of value.
Now, I mean, it's your map, QOR Academy. You guys have to show us some form or signs of life, as 2-5 is looking very similar to Border. And the question is, are you guys going to keep spawn peeking? I mean, Epic tried it and got instantly destroyed. And that was the reason they lost first blood so early on. But the question is, what are you going to do to continue and change it? Because it doesn't look like this phase is Epic at all. He just runs out, again, and hopes for the best. But luckily, he's not going to lose his body. But having Kaysen hit up is going to be a problem. Focal, hit up from the verticality. Hello, Focal? Is anyone home? Completely disregarding the fact that he just had a mag emptied out from above. Soapy finds Inrio, and now we find ourselves in a 5v3.
Looks like Rival slowly going to push up, maybe be able to find the Vigil, but Soapy with those Warden glasses able to stop those flashbangs. Kaysen swinging as well, but QOR will find, or rather Rival will find a pick onto Kaysen, but Wilecki finding another one. It's all up to Spiff. Will find one onto Wilecki, getting pressure from the stairs, but 90 seconds left to go. What will Spiff decide to do with his remaining time? Does not have the diffuser. It's only in the window. It looks like Spiff will pick it up. Able to have a little bit of verticality here. 4 Flores drones left to go. Not too bad for Spiff as the lone operator left for QOR. But QOR Academy, I think they have all those Goyos up. They have the Jaeger and the Warden as well. Not too sure what Spiff can do here.
Yeah, it's a very difficult spot to be put in. A 1vx yet again. I don't care about the size. I just am going to point out the fact that we have been seeing a lot of 1vx recently, and it's going to be a deciding factor of this game eventually, whether we go to either the full key up to overtime or QOR going to that match point. It's definitely going to be a decider of the fact that who can rise to the occasion and play as a team first instead of relying on the 1vx's. I mean, a 1v3 situation, this is the first round that QOR's lost in 2 to 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken here. They have the ability to continue and make matters worse, but losing one round once in a while is definitely not something that you will be blamed for, especially once you don't have that leeway, you don't have the breaches open, and your only access point is played off by a Vulcan.
Yep, and it looks like QOR Academy playing their util well there. I mean, the Warden in a just right spot to be able to get rid of those flashbangs, and QOR Academy looking pretty good on their defense there. Although they've won the downstairs site, they can no longer pick it, so it looks like they will be forced to go back to the kitchen and dining room, hopefully able to find a little bit more. Looks like Kaysen coming back on the Vigil. Not too sure if it's a move that QOR Academy should keep doing. I don't think Kaysen found too much utility, too much value with that Vigil. Didn't really drain a whole lot of time. QOR not really deeming, you know, hunting that Vigil worth their time. Looks like the rest of QOR Academy, though, trying to drain as much as possible. I mean, Castle, Wamai, Legion, all operators great at making QOR kind of back up. giving Core a little bit more space, allowing them to take a little bit more space. Definitely be interesting. It looks like Core coming in on Finka, Lion, Blackbeard, Dekebi, Thermite. I'm definitely interested to see what'll happen. I mean, normally Finka means rush, and Blackbeard as that spearhead, as you like to say, Sino. Definitely something that Core will be utilizing to the fullest extent. It looks like Focal gonna try and maybe find something here, instead going up the building, looking somewhat suspiciously at the garage door, as Core, I think, tries to set up around this second floor site, trying to get rid of these castle barricades, trying to find these angles to slowly pick apart this defense, but Core Academy not letting them have anything just quite yet.
Now, yes, Core Academy has won that last round, but nothing is going to change the fact that Core is 1 round shy of the match point. If they lose these next 2 rounds, they are still going to be on that match point, or the round shy of that match point. Meaning they can make mistakes, but, I mean, it's not warranted. It's not expected, and it shouldn't be something they are wanting. But they still have time to clean it up. Core Academy, you guys need to be on go mode right here and right now, considering you're on the defensive of a Chalet home turf map. There's so much to do, and you guys have been underperforming. The last couple of rounds have been looking promising in terms of pinching Core and forcing them to make bad decisions. But the only way you can continue to force these mistakes if you play as a team and stop forcing the 1vx's.
Yeah, it looks like Core playing mostly as, you know, a one-time unit. There's a couple times I wish Core Academy would swing or try to find those trades a little bit more evenly, and they haven't been doing that. Hopefully on this defense, you know, defense, it's a lot easier to make people play on your turf, play how you want them to, go where you want them to go, funnel just a little bit. I mean, Castle is really, really good at that. So hopefully Core Academy can use that to find picks, move stuff around. Looks like Wilecki peeking a pixel here, not finding anything just quite yet, as it looks like Franklin will open this main door. Looks like Wilecki coming out to swing, but it's going to cost him.
Oh, no. That's a beautiful pinch, too. I mean, it was a valiant play by Lecky, but I mean, an even better one from Adept and Soapy. Look at that tag teamwork upstairs. I thought it was going to be a one-sided affair, but it just burst into action in the favor of Core Academy, as now they've made it much more realistic to just close the disadvantage to 1. That deficit continues to shrink, as now they're learning how to play as a unit. Wilecki got a little aggressive, granted, yes, but he was put in a horrible spot. There were crosses being held from Piano and K9, but he still managed to go down, and his team gets it back in blood, as now we find ourselves in a 4v2 situation. The flashes sent on in. Spiff looking to get aggressive in Piano and will gain access, but after what? A triple kill from Soapy will force the case loose and make this
Spiff
a 4v1 situation. And Soapy just continues to terrorize this Core roster, as now it is only a 1-rounded game.
Yeah, Core Academy looking really good, finding their footing on their home turf. I mean, even if Spiff found a couple more kills, he only had 10 seconds left at the end there. Not a great look for Core there. Looks like the 3rd round bans will be coming out, though. Looks like Dokubi and Warden. Not anything too crazy. Dokubi and Warden have been the thorns in the side for both of these teams, and so it'll definitely be interesting. Scopos may be coming out, but no, Soapy will quickly swap to Aruni, as it looks like Core Academy going back down to the bar. Whole lot of stalling tactics. Legion, Aruni, Goyo. Definitely not something I would want to go into with low time. So much utility needs to be wasted to clear out that utility. Be interesting to see what Core does to stop that. Looks like the rest of Core Academy, though, starting to set up on that 2nd floor. Verticality, the name of the game of this Chalet map, and we've seen it happen time and time again here. Hopefully, Core Academy can keep their momentum going, keep this shift going for themselves, but it looks like Core needs to find something to do to answer what Core Academy has been doing so far.
I've never found myself actually vouching or hoping for a deadlock. I mean, Core Academy need this 5-5 so bad, otherwise I don't think they're going to have enough to be able to force an overtime. I mean, Core is not a team that makes so many mistakes to factor where they will toss this amount of rounds. But again, you have to take it to a fact that this is not their pick, meaning anything can happen. But the way and the way of life is trying to find the wording. But the way is, this is how a team will play. They will lose rounds, and they will use that final round before a deadlock is presented to coordinate and play as a unit to force that overtime or force that match point. But I don't think QOR is a team that wants to go to OT. The only times they have done so was against COB 2 days before the grand final, before they got knocked into the lower bracket. They are not a good team in overtime historically. So they're going to be looking for something to end it out right here and right now. And Epic gives them that fuel to add to the fire as he'll take care of business, and that'll be the first blood, and that'll be the first kill.
Yeah, Epic trying to get a little bit creative. They're trying to sniff out Rival. I think Rival found him on the drone, but Wilecki evening up the odds, getting rid of those Yin Candelas and the top performing player for QOR off the board. Definitely a good look for QOR Academy right now. I mean, Soapy and Wilecki also doing so much work.
God.
Wilecki finding another absolutely insane from him on the Legion. Inrio able to even up the odds. But I'm not quite sure. I mean, QOR Academy still has those Goyo canisters, still has those Aruni gates, still has Legion mines with Wilecki. I'm not sure what they're doing, but Adept, wild swing into the main. It looks like Rival will be caught out and leaving the round up to Franklin.
1v2, we find ourselves the double cross. Soapy baits him out, and oh, ladies and gentlemen, this has become oh so realistic now. It's anyone's game as we find ourselves in a 5-all situation. What a game this has been. And now it looks like Team QOR Academy has found their footing, led by Wilecki, as they now are just one shy from the match point. I mean, just wow, look at the way they've been playing. They have been able to do so much. And the question is, can they just push that last round for the match point?
Yeah, I mean, Wilecki and Soapy looking absolutely dominant there. I mean, it was insane. Wilecki putting in so much work. Although Epic and Adept definitely going for some wide swings, definitely going a little bit unorthodox, very, very aggressive. Did find a little bit of value on those swings, able to even it up for QOR Academy, able to take it to 5-5. It looks like Kaysen coming back on the Vigil. The rest of QOR Academy going for more things to just stall and slow out here. And I think those Goyo canisters have not been seeing them been used a whole lot, but a lot of these matches have been fairly, I wouldn't say team deathmatch, but we don't see a lot of them going very late. And if we do see them going very late, it's often that both teams will opt to go for kills rather than going for the plant. Looks like QOR trying to move a little bit faster here. Maybe try and catch QOR Academy off guard. Looks like Focal going to watch the door as Franklin drones out here. Looks like Rival trying to open up some windows, try and find a way into this second floor where Kaysen is, and trying to find a way to take this verticality away from QOR Academy. QOR Academy keeping most of their players up on this first floor or close to the basement where the site is. It looks like Kaysen going back down the stairs. Wilecki looking at an open window, not able to find much. It looks like the rest of QOR trying to just slowly push in. Not a whole lot of utility to be used yet, but also not a whole lot of util that would be good to use so far. It looks like Rival will start to open up hatches and a little bit of the floor here, maybe trying to sniff out where Adept is. It looks like Kaysen trying to find anything, but it looks like so far pretty slow match so far, pretty slow round.
Yeah, that's first blood. Adept taken care of here, but again, QOR Academy, you've done all the legwork to get yourselves to this point. You literally need one round to go to the match point. What are you able to do here? I mean, you haven't been able to see the superstars of last map rise to the occasion. Kaysen had a nuclear game with double digits on the board last map, but that's all it is, the last map. As now QOR is a very punishing team. If you give them that legway, if you give them the leeway to find whatever they want, and you will find yourselves in a very one-sided affair where you're staring down the barrel of a loss, and you guys can't afford that. This map decides whether if you go home or if you push it to the third map in a flawless round to push that match point is definitely going to dictate the remainder of this game.
QOR, I mean, QOR Academy looking really good, but QOR definitely telling us right now we are down, but we are sure as hell not out. They are looking to take this one away after QOR Academy started to find their footing, but that kitchen dining room site coming back to be available for QOR Academy, definitely their preferred site. Looks like Tubarão will come back for this site. Definitely interesting. Not a whole lot we see him being played, but definitely will be interesting. A lot of verticality, maybe trying to stop this thermite, trying to make QOR's push go even slower. I mean, QOR Academy doing really, really well in knocking off time for QOR, but they have not been, you know, they've been losing quite a few gunfights. They've not been able to find their ones, find their picks, find what they need to keep that man advantage. And it looks like hopefully QOR Academy can maybe find something to, you know, get that little bit of momentum back, find a little bit more to keep them in this game. Looks like QOR starting off here. It looks like Ying, Hibana, Grim, Capitao, Lion. Whole lot of projectiles here. Those Grim Bees, those Ying Candelas, the Capitao bolts. Definitely a lot of stuff to deal with, but it looks like the rest of QOR Academy probably not too worried. I mean, the castle barricade's able to deal with most of those thrown, you know, projectiles. It looks like QOR slowly going to make their way in. A couple hard breach charges going off, trying to get rid of Sophie's castle barricades. It looks like Adept will be sniffed out off the Mira. Looks like Inrio trying to see if he can find anything on this rooftop. Anyone trying to peek a window or a door that they shouldn't. Lion Skin going down. Finding Sophie, putting him in a bit of a position. The Grimby's also isolating where he is. The Capitao bolts coming out. Not a great look for QOR Academy. As a rival comes in, makes it an easy pick. Kaysen next up on the chopping block.
I mean, just look at that flood. The Candelas didn't connect, but they still managed to force it. What a flood this is. And ladies and gentlemen, are we staring down the barrel of the end of map? This is a problem. I mean, you have a 5v2 situation on the match point. You've done everything necessary to try to put yourselves on the first map win that you could even look for today. It's your home turf. You're looking to make a sort of statement that players are going to look at as a legacy, but you guys just cannot find anything. Kaysen, a very, very massive underperformer today as he dropped double digits the first, but doesn't have enough to pursue for two. Adept narrowly avoids that flawless round, but he's left all by his lonesome in the sight. No utility in his favor. You only have Gumans, and it looks like you're staring down the barrel at the end of the matchup as now. Say congratulations as QOR, for the third time, go on to their grand finals of a T3 league.
Yeah, QOR Academy looking good, but QOR looking even better. I mean, QOR able to play for their trades, play as their unit just a little bit better, I think. And I think that's one of the things that made it just so hard for QOR Academy to be able to pull it out. I mean, great showing from QOR Academy. They played absolutely well, especially on that chalet map, but just not enough to be able to take it.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, taking a look first at Border, we knew that there was a tone going to be set. I mean, QOR Academy just came out that gate swinging with that clutch from Kaysen, with the adaptability from Lecky, from the ability to just play as a unit for those first two rounds. They just crumbled from there. We thought the ability to have 5 minutes as a halftime as you move on and transition to that next map was enough to be able to reset and play on your own map with composure, with the ability to play as a team, and that's just not something that we saw today. But I mean, do you have any final thoughts here before I send this off?
I mean, I think QOR looking definitely good going into this grand final. It'll be interesting to see. We still have Hikikimori versus Cincinnati. Whoever plays that, or whoever wins that rather, will play Space Cubes. Whoever wins that will have to face QOR definitely will be interesting to see. I mean, QOR looking absolutely dominant. Only 2-0s so far as they've been playing in this tournament. Spaceshube's, I think, the only one able to really contest, but first they got to beat Hikikimori or Cincinnati. Be interesting to see what will happen throughout the rest of this tournament.
Now, as it stands, ladies and gentlemen, the grand finals, one person or one team, shall I say, has been decided. But I don't feel like this should be a discouraging place for QOR Academy. You went up against the main roster and you lost, but it's a learning point. You've added maps, you've added reps, and you've now learned what your strengths and your weaknesses are when you're facing against a team that's 1T3. Now, the ability of being able to analyze that, VOD review that, and play as a team to try to build up and be better is going to be the main idea. But the final thoughts are congratulations to QOR. I feel like I say that so much to going to the grand finals, and if they can win it, it'll be a congratulations for another T3 league. But we have been your casters. I've been Cino. This has been No Side. Thank you so much for allowing us to be able to be the mics behind today's matchup. Have a great rest of your night. Leave a follow, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Before he's done so, there is intel on the man that sits in the depths of archives. Oh my god, Kaysen! The black goes down, but rival stuck! A quad kill from Kaysen! What a way to set the pace for the first round of the first map of this series! What a defuse! Kaysen, pat on the back! What a shot that was!
Him, as Twist is also just trying to get what little he can done with that DMR. One player's down, but two fall to a C4. As now we see Twist left all alone in a 1 versus 2, effectively a 1 versus 3 if they can get Kiru up. And now any and all gas you can have to get into the site are only going to be difficult.
But it's starting to dwindle. Send to your friends, one onto Schlein. That's a big pick to even things out. Can they even pick up the fuser safely? They don't know. It's in the way of the breach, and that's going to make things difficult. They have a ping on this Azami, though. He just needs to find the right pick, but that's such a thin angle. Azami's going to drop off and rotate away, and that's a good move. That's a quad for Duke. Finding one of the sent here. The Ying's going to go out, but it doesn't matter because Duke swings the other direction, finds rival, and picks up the ace on the round.
Directly duel this player inside of control hall. But he's gonna try to make it difficult to predict his positioning. He's gonna get that pick on to Kiru, as now it's a 1 versus 2 for JJ inside of the bomb site.